And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner! Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team.
Those things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever. Hey, welcome to the weekly recap from We Are Soccer. Live on Sunday night, 9 o'clock as usual. Tonight, we're following that USA-Bolivia Copa America game that happened. Did you watch it? We certainly did. Greg Berhalter is a genius. Oh my word. Okay, I really can't blame Greg Berhalter for the match. A little disappointing and underwhelmed by the U.S.'s performance, I'll be honest. 2-0 winners as they beat Bolivia in that first game, opening up their Copa America count. 3 points is what we needed. We got that. The performance, as I said, underwhelming. Lots to come on that. We're going to talk about Greg Berhalter and Gareth Southgate. Who's the bigger clown? Would love to get your take on that. My word, there's a lot of soccer that's happened. A lot of football that's happened over the last week. Has it? Has it not, friends? Oh, it's been fun. I've sat on my couch every single day and watched no less than 3 football games. Yes, it's been like heaven, I must say. There's been broken noses. There's been goals called back. There's been leading goal scorers that I hope my team doesn't sign. Yes, OG, the leading goal scorer at the Euros. Man, that guy is on fire. We've got a lot to get to. Before we do that, I do want to say a big thank you to some of our partners. A big thank you to Soccer World, soccerworld.net for all of your soccer gear needs. Big thank you to Next Level Training. Hey, they got camps running this summer. They still got a couple of spaces open here in the Metro Detroit area and up north, Michigan as well, Petoskey area. Sign up, Next Level Training. The absolute best trainers in the country. Trust me. Big thank you to the Michigan Jags. Michigan Jaguars FC, a great organization for youth soccer. My kids play there. Maybe your kids should too. Big thank you to Thomas McGee's. Hey, you're looking for a place to watch these Copa America and Euro 2024 games with friends? Get down to Thomas McGee's in downtown Detroit. A big thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. This guy knows soccer, and he knows how to get you back on the field healthy and fit. The football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. All right, listen, we're talking Copa America. We're talking Euros, lots of games, and now we get into the fun part of Euros. But before we get there, let me introduce some of the fellas in the studio with me today. Danny, how are you? You doing all right?
Chugging from the blender.
Hey.
I'm not chugging from the blender, chugging from the solo cup, but yes, good weekend, supposedly. Maybe a good weekend.
I'm really looking forward to your take on the Greg Berhalter versus Gareth Southgate. Who's a bigger clown section we're going to put together tonight.
Are we going to wait for the 10 o'clock hour for that so that I can rattle off some expletives?
No, we're going to jump into that pretty quick here because, listen, I've got some things I need to say about Gareth Southgate, and I know you do too, so we'll get to that really quick. But as you can see there, ladies and gentlemen, folks, that our boy Nate is not with us yet. He will be here. I think he's getting primed and ready. He's probably going to put on some weird costume coming in here. Crazy. The Germans won. Oh, the Germans finished top of their group. Yes, they drew today. Luckily, last-minute goal for them. Overall, we'll talk about that. But Danny, lots to get to. You've been watching the Euros, my friend. You've been impressed?
No, I haven't really, to be honest with you. No, I haven't. No. I've watched a lot of games actually, and it's not been as exciting as it was 4 years ago. Maybe because it's not in England, I don't know. But no, I haven't. Some games have been all right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I watched Germany today, thinking that they would just light it up, and they didn't play well at all today. But in the previous 2 games, they did. France-Netherlands game was good for a 0-0 draw. But
Yeah.
there's been some goals, right? Some really nice goals.
Really nice goals.
But no, I haven't been overly impressed yet. But again,
Right.
we're in the group phases.
Yeah. I say we're in the group phases. It's just get the job done, get through to the next round. It's business. That's a little bit of my problem with England, though. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. All right, Brooks, how are you, buddy? You doing all right? I love the Olive New York shirt you got there from USA.
Thank you.
Well
yes.
done.
Yeah, the Declaration of Independence got like the words and everything on it. Great jersey. I'm good. Let's see. I was at a USL2 match up in Flint yesterday, so that was a good one. Watching Flint play OCFC, so that was that was a great match. Talking with Gary Parsons and Dan Duggan and Costa and all the guys at the Bucks and Paul Doro, and it was a good time. Good time. So
Very nice.
Love Costa.
yes, great gentlemen. Same with Dan and just same with everyone on that staff. They're wonderful people. So not too much soccer honestly going on. A lot of report writing to finish up though before everything kicks off again in August. So yeah, fun times.
All right. Well, you do that report writing. I don't do that. I watch soccer games.
Yeah.
Let's jump in. Let's talk about USA versus Bolivia down in Arlington, down at AT&T Stadium there in Texas, Dallas. Oh, I listen. It started out the way we thought it would, right? Pulisic scoring in the first couple of minutes, USA threatening, really pressing, controlling the game, and then it just kind of petered out. And I'll be very honest, just after halftime, I almost fell asleep. It was boring. That game became boring to me. And you just knew that no matter how long this game went for, if it was 90 minutes, if it was 180 minutes, if it was 10 days, the score was going to be finishing 2-0 to USA. Balogun with the goal there, gets a little lucky through the defender's legs. Whether he meant to do that or not, I don't know. But listen, 2-0 USA, job done. I can't blame Berhalter anyway. I like the lineup he put out there. It was what I was expecting, to be honest. But overall, maybe the goal of Team USA was just get through this game. Just get through it without an injury, get the win, get all 3 points, score a couple goals, and let's move on to the next one. Brooks, Danny, your guys' thoughts on this game as, for me, the word of the day is underwhelming from the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, I guess 2-0 is a good win. I think he probably should have took it to Bolivia more. Bolivia had the ball a little bit, but USA had most of the possession.
60-40, I think, overall.
Yeah, they didn't really get not many threatening opportunities really from Bolivia, to be honest. It's just like at times it's just, kind of like what I see in these USL2 matches sometimes, or even in college, is like they take their foot off the pedal when they just need to just go, just stomp on them. Like when you have the momentum, just take it out 4-0, because goal differential comes into play if anything needs to happen in these group games. I hope it doesn't, but
I think the shots on goal for both teams kind of told you the story of the game. Really, the US only registering 8 shots on goal and Bolivia 3.
Yeah,
I can tell you that 2 poorly managed teams. I thought, outside the first 10 minutes, the US played okay. The goal was obviously terrific, and we know that Pulisic is arguably the best player on the pitch, for both teams. So, but outside of that, it was underwhelming, uninspiring, and just typical Greg Berhalter nonsense.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you about that goal. When he first hit it, I thought, oh, wow, that went in. I think a better goalie, I think any goalie that we've seen in the Euros makes that save. He gets a fingertip to it. He's a little bit smaller of a goalie.
I don't think he saw it till. I don't think he saw it late.
Okay.
I think he saw it late. There's a sea of players in front of him, right?
Okay.
When he hit it, I think he saw it late. But again, it's just like it's one of my favorite phrases throughout the course of the Premier League season was moments FC. Somebody online, Art Goldbridge, I'll give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Buddy, a Manchester United buddy. Moments FC. And that's what the US are right now and have been for a while under Berhalter. Moments FC.
Yeah.
Just moments in games where they go, no, they've done something decent there. But to be a recognized nation for a team that's going to go and beat Brazil or Argentina at this Copa America, you've got no chance.
Right. It's funny because yesterday, Alexi Lalas, friend of the show, Alexi Lalas, put out his thoughts on who was going to win Copa America. And I believe he had Argentina winning it all against USA in the final. He had USA beating Brazil. He had them getting past Colombia, getting past Brazil, and getting into the final, but losing to Lionel Messi and Argentina.
Yeah.
I don't have them getting that far. If they get to Brazil, I think Brazil just go, oh, we remember you. Hold on, let's put our foot down now. Stomp. Goodbye, USA. So, an interesting pick from Alexi Lalas.
Well, it's not really interesting because he's pro-USA. So,
yeah.
it's kind of like Melissa Ortiz, the female, the young girl. Like, she's Colombian. So, she picked Colombia to make it to the final and lose, or I think win it all. So, it's just like, come on.
I mean, listen, I get having the tinted glasses on, right? The star-spangled tinted glasses, but does he really believe?
I really think pundits are so funny, aren't they? Because and pundits are so funny because I think there's a certain level of objectivity that has to happen or has to come into play. You have to be objective when you're looking at it through, a sports lens.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're a Manchester United fan or an Aston Villa fan and you're a pundit on TV, you have to be looking at it objectively. And I don't think he's looking at it objectively. I understand he captained the US and he played a number of games and was a US legend, but can we get him on the show and have a little bit of a, banter going?
We might be able to.
Alexi Lalas, I'm calling you out. Let's get on the show.
The funny thing is I was swapping texts with him yesterday while he was actually working when he was off the air. And, he was telling me about the set that they have there. It's interesting. We may have to get him on the show and ask him about that USA versus Argentina in the final. And I don't see USA getting all the way through to the final. But, you're right. It comes down, it's pundits, right? They do it. Why do they do it? They do it to get a reaction,
clicks,
viewers,
rates,
content, clicks.
Yeah,
you're right. All right, so the lineup, though, that Greg Berhalter put out today, I thought that was the lineup. I thought that was the lineup to go with. I was impressed by it. Maybe the only change he could have had was he had Joe Scally in there. He got torched against Colombia. But other than that, I was impressed with it. I liked it. Pulisic, again, wide left, split, does what he does, controls the game. Danny, as you said, by far the best player on the field. I like that he's giving Reyna a chance. I thought Reyna played okay. It looked like Bolivia was actually targeting Reyna. He was chopped down a couple of times. It looked like they targeted him. They couldn't actually get a foot on or a hand on Pulisic, so that was nice.
You just said the key thing there.
Yeah.
That was the team you expected.
Yeah.
And if that's his strongest 11, they're in huge trouble.
Yep.
Huge trouble.
Yep.
Yeah, you might be right.
Huge trouble.
It's just
quote Roy Keane. Huge trouble.
Yeah.
Because that team, the best team that I did think he put out, was not going to beat. I don't think they beat Uruguay in the last game of the group phase.
I don't think you can get any better than that. And if that's the best 11 that he's got, then they're in huge trouble.
I just don't think. I don't think much of Scally. I think he's a mediocre right back. I think we need more dynamic guys going forward, and that's Serginho Dest, who's injured, but he doesn't defend, so he's a liability. So that means when Tyler Adams in, he's got to cover more ground because the center back that Serginho Dest to be paired with has to cover his ground in behind. So, there's a lot of holes in here. Honestly, I still think Gio Reyna is best as a wide player and just let him roam. Or as a 10 to let him roam. I just, like Kyle Martino was saying, I like when he drops in, and I don't like when he gets low. When he gets down where McKennie and Adams are, he's not as effective.
I'll agree with you. Yeah, I don't
He's
like
better
him
higher up the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. If you come back further on the field like that, and he did a couple of times today, he's ineffective, and that's not where we want him on the ball.
Yeah.
We want him on the ball at half field and moving towards the other end of the goal.
Yeah, Tyler Adams was a little rusty. I mean, you could tell his touch was off.
Yeah.
He tried to clear
He's
balls.
been injured for half the season.
Right.
Correct.
I
But
thought it was
when
good to
he's-
see him back in the lineup, though.
Yes, when he's 100%,
You're right, Dan.
he is the best 6 that we have.
McKinney looks big.
He
Yes.
looks like he's gotten.
McKinney's look big.
He looks like he's gotten. I had a couple of people text me and said, "What's going on with McKinney? He's not keeping up with his regimen right now.
Yeah.
'Cause
Like
his fitness is gone."
That's him, though. I don't think he cracks down and takes things seriously. And that's the problem I have with some of these kids is that they're not like the old crew, maybe I'm beating a dead horse or something, but it's even when you guys, your English teams that were just fighters and, like you celebrated when you celebrated, but when it was time to show up and play, like that game, that night before, week before, you didn't go out. You were preparing for that week because you knew you needed to win the group and you needed to win your games that were coming up. And I just don't think these players have this mentality to do that. They like to they go out a lot.
It just begs a bigger question, and this is something that we were going to talk about on the show weeks ago, right? About if that is his best 11, right? And you can argue Sergio Dest all you want, right? I think, to be honest with you, I think both right backs are crap. But if that's the best 11 that he's got, then where are the players coming from that are going to remove this old guard or going to take over and put the US into the future, right? So when we get to it with the Berhalter Southgate thing, I don't necessarily think I think we're talking about two different things. They're still Muppets, both of them, but we're still talking about two different things. I would like to see us have a debate, not a debate on here, but I would like to see us have a discussion about the national team's growth with putting players into the first team and where are those players coming from and how are they being developed?
Yeah.
I would like to see that both from an English perspective and also a US perspective.
Yeah.
Brooks' insight.
Yeah, that's at some point we will have that. You're right, but you're not wrong right now because that was the best 11, and if that's the best 11, we're in trouble, USA.
And I think Vasquez is the better one of the strikers, in my opinion. He doesn't bring him in,
he's
and
not being called in, right?
But it's the same thing that you guys, and we'll get to this later. But it's the same thing you guys do with Southgate. Is he calls guys in, and you're like, why? Like, there's guys that are so much better that he leaves off, and I don't understand the mentality and thinking. And I mean, it's clear and obvious to me. I mean, different type of guy does different things. Like, what does he mess up a few times in some training drill, and you just like degrade him because he does something? Like, what does he bring to the game and does in the game? Because it doesn't matter what you do in training. At some point, it's just how do you compete and get results in the game.
You know, the funny thing is, I don't want to cut you off, Brooks, but the funny thing is, before the game, I'll mention his name again, Alexi Lalas. He was on Fox, and he said, this is my top 5 U.S. strikers. He had Vasquez as 3rd. He had Pepe as 1. I'm sorry, he had Sargent as 1, Pepe, and then Vasquez.
But that's okay. Like,
and
I like those 3, to be honest with you. I'm not crazy. I know Nate's not crazy about Balogun. I'm not crazy about Balogun.
I'm not a
he hasn't done a
fan
whole
by any means either.
But he scored today.
He did.
He did, and it wasn't a bad goal, But like Craig said, you're scoring 20. You're scoring goals in the French league. Like, you kind of got to go somewhere a little tougher, right?
I thought Pepe was a little unlucky a couple of times when he got in there. He had some great shots, some good saves by the goalie. I thought just a little unlucky. I think over 90 minutes, or if he's given a lot longer than what he was given today, I think Pepe can score 1 or 2 more. Yeah. I think he would have been the guy to start. But Berhalter has laid it down and said, Balogun's my guy. This is who I'm going with. Yeah, and you know what? I kind of like that. He said, this is my guy. We're going to ride with him. And until it falters or breaks, we're going to go with it. So I kind of like that mentality. So listen, we can discuss. Again, I think it's underwhelming, but we'll jump in if you guys are ready. We'll have some comments, but then we're going to jump in and do the Berhalter versus Southgate thing because both of these managers have made just decisions that just baffle your mind. And just blow you away. But, Brooks, you got some comments from the group?
Yeah, so Victor's watching, and he says, Craig, here, I got a question. Hypothetically saying, if someone asked you to go to a place called Gatsby's to watch a match, and they never show up, would you call them a friend?
What? Okay, yes.
Fair enough. Steve Aversa, no offense at all for Bolivia. Guest credit goes to the USA defense. That's what he's saying a little bit. They weren't bad. They weren't horrible. Kirk Johnson saying that 96 team, the old crew from, the U.S. guys beat these new guys because they have more heart
My high school boys team, Stephen, could have stopped the Bolivia attack today.
Bolivia are one of the most. They are stuck in the 90s. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
They haven't progressed. They have a very lacking offense. Their midfield is very suspect, and their defense, not very good at all. Which speaks very highly of it doesn't speak very highly of the U.S. today. Brooks.
And then last comment for Mike B. The U.S. played through the middle finally. They opened up space from runs and then went outside when the middle jammed up. So, yeah, they did actually move the ball a little more, but, I mean, it was an inferior opponent, so I expected them to do that.
Sure.
The question is, when they play Uruguay, Colombia, Brazil, can they do that as well?
Yeah, that is the big question. I think we have no doubt that they're probably going to get through these group phases, get into that quarterfinal, but what will they do then when they play a Colombia type team? All right, let's jump in, fellas. Let's start having that. Let's start having that discussion.
Hold on 1 second. We got one more comment from Birdie, our good old Aaron Bird, the owner of NL at Next Level Training. He's gone. Let's put it out there. Craig and Danny versus Brooks and Nate, 2v2. Who wins?
Oh, good Lord.
And I've gone, mate, you know the answer to that. Behave.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Aaron. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, you know. We're gonna get to those questions that we have in a minute on our Facebook group, the 2-on-2. Yeah, I think we know. Okay, Aaron. Well done. That's Aaron from Next Level Training. If everybody's paying attention, the best trainer in the country, bar none. You can write it down. All right, we are going to come back. We're going to jump in. We are going to talk about, is it Berhalter or is it Southgate? Who's the bigger clown? Because you know what? Both these managers have made some big mistakes, and I think they've put a big hindrance on their team. We are going to jump back in a couple of seconds. Be right back.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just going to do some light shopping. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
Copa America. Ooh. Wow, that's not MLS. Ooh.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump. Next in line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh?
It's a mannequin.
Oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we're back in here. We're about to get into it because Danny and I are staunchly, hugely big England fans, and we are not fans of Gareth Southgate because I think actually he may have picked a solid squad to go to the Euros. I definitely think Grealish should have been there, but if you've watched any of the show by now, you'll know that we are not fans, and we think he's, as Danny says, a Muppet. I call him a clown. And as you can see, we've made a little graphic. So, who's the bigger clown? Do you trust either of these men with your national team? Gareth Southgate, Greg Berhalter, clowns, my friend. Danny?
He's a Muppet, mate.
He's just someone who follows orders, right?
Do you know what? It's just how you can go from playing such good football 4 years ago at the Euros in England, and then they played some good football at the World Cup. The quarterfinal against France, I thought they were the better team, in large parts of that game, and really should have won it.
Absolutely.
Outside the penalty miss, so you don't know what's going to happen if you go on from that game. But let me give this to you, right? So before the show, I went and picked up the starting 11 from the France game.
Okay.
In 2002 at the World
Yep,
Cup
go for it.
final. So Pickford in goal, Walker, Stones, Maguire, Shaw, midfield 3, Henderson, Rice, Bellingham, forward 3, Saka, Kane, and Foden.
So almost the exact same team minus Maguire and Shaw. Shaw.
So the starting 11 against Denmark and who did we play in the first game? I forgot now.
Oof.
Starting 11 against Denmark and Slovenia.
Yeah.
Oh, Serbia.
Serbia.
Right.
That's it. Right. Mitrovic.
Pickford, Walker, Stones, Gahey, Trippier, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Rice, Bellingham, Saka, Kane, Foden. So 3 changes from that team that played France off the park in large parts of that quarterfinal. I don't have a problem with Gahey, right? I don't, because he's been absolutely terrific.
I think he's been fine, yeah.
He's been absolutely terrific, and I think he's got a lot more pace than Maguire,
Yep.
right? So I've got no problem with that. Trippier's playing out of position, but he's got no other option right now because he decided to leave Ben Chilwell at home, right? And, Luke Shaw's injured.
Yep.
He took a player that's injured, so he's got no other option. My biggest bone of contention with this is you've brought along 3 footballers, right, in the squad that have had way better seasons than Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yes.
Not enlisting the fact that he's not even a centre mid. He's a right back. Right?
He plays right back for his club team and occasionally will slot in, but most of the time.
Right. Rotational patterns, all that type of stuff. You know,
right.
he drifts in there, right? But you've got Mainu sitting on the bench, you've got Gallagher sitting on the bench, and you've got Palmer sitting on the bench, and all three, right? All three could play an advanced role in the middle of midfield. Declan Rice could anchor the 6 on his own.
Yep.
Right? And Bellingham and Palmer or what? I mean, to be honest with you, like the natural replacement, right? And I saw this little blurb on Twitter about the fact that, well, we don't really have a replacement for Calvin Phillips right now and we're experimenting. Are you the biggest dickhead in the fucking world and you don't see what other people see?
That is the most incredible excuse I've ever heard out of a manager's mouth.
You've just had an 18-year-old kid, right, play the Man City midfield off the park in an FA Cup final and scored in it that plays the exact same position as Calvin Phillips. What am I missing?
And if you don't want to go with him because he's young and inexperienced, and if you don't want to go there, you've got other players. You've got Cole Palmer, who you could put a little higher up and drop Bellingham back. Bellingham a couple of years ago played a little further, played a little deeper. You could drop him a little deeper, play Cole Palmer a little higher, because you know what? Cole Palmer, look at the season he just had. 15 assists, the leading English assist getter in the Premiership. 15 assists this past year. He hasn't touched the field in the Euros. Hasn't spent a minute on the field. We were crying out for a goal in the last game.
It's a style of play for me, right? It's a bigger thing for the style of play. So you've got Bellingham, who's arguably a shoo-in for the top 3 of the Ballon d'Or this year.
Yep.
Right? Vinny Jr., right? Yep. And probably another Real Madrid player.
Rodrigo, I think.
Rodrigo,
the
yeah,
one up
something
there,
like that.
Probably, yeah.
So, I mean, he's played in a Real Madrid midfield where he scored a ton of goals coming from deep, like a Frank Lampard, right?
Yep.
Coming into the box late, scoring goals outside the box, all that sort of stuff. So the problem that you have with England, and this is a systemic problem with Harry Kane, is that he gets no service. Yep. So Kane drifts into the middle of midfield to pick up a ball.
Right.
So
he drifts deep because he's not getting service. And trust me, I've done this as a forward. You've done it as well. When you're up top and you're not getting the ball, what do? Well, you have to come deeper to get the ball because you want to get touches.
He did it at Munich, and he scored a ton of goals. The difference at Munich was Musiala got into the space behind.
Yep.
Bellingham's not doing that.
No.
Right?
He doesn't like to do that. That's not his thing, I don't think, for Jude.
No, he doesn't.
He wants to be on the ball.
But if you're a manager, right? If you're a manager and you're talking to your and you've got arguably 2 of the best players in Europe this season playing in that position that are feeding off each other, why are you not sat in the dressing room going, "Hey, Jude, listen, mate. Look, when Harry drops into the midfield to pick up the ball, just get in behind him, right? Get into the space behind and let's stretch him. Let's get in behind him. Let's stretch him, right? Instead of like just hogging the midfield, let's get in behind him.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
No, there's not.
There's absolutely none of that.
Did you hear what the press asked after the last game? After the Denmark game, they said, "What pressing are you doing here, Harry Kane?" And he said, "To be honest, I don't really know how they want us to press. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to be pressing."
That's not a good message from your forward.
You pretty much just said, "Hey, the manager hasn't told us what he wants to do when we don't have the ball because he expects us to have the ball the whole time." What is going on? Gareth Southgate, I thought, was supposed to be a little bit of a control freak, understand what's going on, all aspects of the game. We know he's made some errors in past, we'll say Euro 2020, in World Cup, bringing the wrong players. What are we doing here? The funny thing is, I think he brought Kieran Trippier and Trent Alexander-Arnold because of their free kick abilities, right? I think they both can strike a dead ball. Some of the best dead ball strikers currently in the game.
If you're a manager, if you're Gareth Southgate and you're a manager of this England team and you're looking at that front 6, right? You take Alexander out of there and put any one of Mainu, Gallagher and Palmer in that midfield, and you look at that front 6 and you're telling me that you need Kieran Trippier and Trent Alexander to score from set pieces and you can't score with that front 6, you are absolute, your head is gone.
No,
your head's gone.
It's the USA where we need people to score off set pieces and whatnot. You have offensive threats.
What I'm saying
is arguably the best front 6 in Europe.
I 100% agree. But here's one of the things. What you did was you took two really good free kick takers, 2 dead ball specialists. You took them with you, and I don't think either one of them should have been on the field for any of these games. But you took them, you put them in the game, and what you'd left at home was the player who can dribble and get fouled the most around the box and create free kicks. Jack Grealish. Love him or hate him, he gets kicked, he falls down, he gets the call. He somehow draws fouls everywhere he goes. Well, I don't actually remember. I can't remember how many free kicks we've had around the box, but it's almost. I think it's been none almost. I mean, none. We've had none. What's the point of having these two on the field? I'm sorry. Kieran Trippier and Trent Alexander-Arnold are useless.
What makes me laugh even more, right? What makes me laugh even more is he said in the press conference that we don't really have a replacement for Calvin Phillips. 2 years ago, you played Jordan Henderson alongside Declan Rice in the middle of midfield against France, and we battered him.
And it worked.
It worked. So what? Like, go. I know Henderson's had a bad season, but bring him along if that's what you fit. Like
that's your replacement. Yeah, bring him along, and then if you know what, have Mainu follow along with Henderson. Right? Hey, Mainu, watch what Henderson does and how he plays off Rice. Trust me, I get it. It baffles my mind that this man is managing probably the best team in the Euros right now, and they can't score a goal to save their life.
I'll say this. This is typical MO for an England team that's disillusioned with their manager.
Yeah.
It happened with Sven-Goran Eriksson. It happened with Capello. It happened with Terry Venables. It's happened. It's happened before. It wouldn't surprise me if some of these lads are just like, I don't really want to play for the manager.
Yeah. We're going to lose anyway, so
we're gonna get beat anyway. Let's get knocked out in the round of 16 and get on our holes.
Yep, let's get on the holidays.
It just wouldn't surprise me. Because the level of football that they're playing right now, given the talent in the squad, is absolutely crazy. And here's the crazy part. If you sacked him tomorrow and said, Jose, fly over to Germany and manage this England team for the next 2 weeks, will you? He'd probably win it.
He probably would.
He would probably win it.
Greatest coaching replacement, quick substitution ever.
Yeah, the quick substitution. He'll come in the new manager bounce. You're not wrong there. All right, now the question begs to be asked, because the U.S. men's national team did the exact same thing today. They had a front six that I thought was actually a far superior and should have had several goals. I was expecting a 4 or 5-0 run out from the U.S. men's national team, but it was 2-0. Very underwhelming. I've said it again. That's probably the 7th time. Every time I say that, you should probably need to take a shot, folks. Yes, underwhelming. Another one. It's the same thing. It's the same thing Greg Berhalter is doing to Southgate is doing. It's so just what. Listen,
the difference is
Stevie Wonder could manage these teams and get better results, in my opinion.
But the difference is the front six that England have are better creative players than what the U.S. men's national team has.
I mean,
they can create more threatening chances.
But against Bolivia?
But I'm just saying, though, like, it's just like
Foden was the best young player in the Premier League this season, and he looks like a Boy Scout.
I say now all of a sudden he gets the ball and he doesn't know what he's doing.
He looks like an absolute Boy Scout. Like what are you doing, Southgate?
But for me, like with the national team, is you have a guy in Tim Weah that is could be more threatening, I think, as a winger.
Sure.
But he plays winger, wing back at Juventus. It's really kind of off and on for him. It's not in one position. I think he's probably, honestly, for me, probably a better wing back than I would say a winger, because I like wingers that go at players and want to drive inside and come in. Like, that's what Pulisic does when you play him inverted. He drives inside the game. He combines. He looks to shoot. And we really don't have a left-footed winger. I mean, that really does kill us, that we can't play on the opposite side, because Zendejas is not, I would say, athletic enough. He is technical enough. He could come inside the game in the half space and to play technically as like a second 10, but he's just not good enough 1v1 to beat someone. And then we do have outside backs like Robinson that can whip in balls, and Dest that'll take people on. But Dest is a liability at the outside back position. We're playing an older left center back in Tim Ream that still looks good, but who's his next replacement? Chris Richards. Is it Chris Richards? Is it Miles Robinson? Is it Walker Zimmerman? I think the center backs I don't have any worry about, because I think whether you plug any one of those guys together with the athleticism and experience and putting one with the passing ability next to an athlete is fine. The midfield, it's Adams and Musa should always start. The question is, where do you put McKennie and Reyna? Because McKennie is an athlete that covers ground, but he's not technical. And like we talked about, he looks out of shape. I don't think he's always in it. Reyna is, in my opinion, a bit of a girl when he goes to play on the field. It's touch me and I fall. It's ridiculous. It's redundant. Pulisic at least has grown a pair where every time he drives at someone, he's going to get hit. He gets hit, but he tries to take the contact and get past it. The center forward position is, but like all in the midst of this, you have a man that's trying to tell them and joystick them and tell them they have to be in this space when the ball's here and everything, when you just need to let these boys play. And I just, like, for me, I would rather put tougher players on the field than these girly men that play that all of a sudden I get touched and I fall down.
You tell him, Brooks.
So, that's my problem with them. At least you guys have competent players that can take guys on and do things differently.
You say that, but Danny just gave the example of Phil Foden was the Premiership Player of the Year. Now he gets the ball and he looks like he's never played the game before. He's played 2 games of the Euros and he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing.
But I think it's like what both managers do is they want to have so much control on how the flow of the game goes that both of these managers just like drop their players' levels down 10 notches. And he limits their abilities. If they just both let their players play, it may be a different story. And maybe we may not be having this conversation.
I mean, look, we don't know what these managers are saying to the players, right?
Right.
We just don't. And I think obviously coaching both female and male players for 23 years, it's difficult. It really is when you're managing a squad. I'd see it in high school a lot more than I do in club because the club rosters are a little bit thinner, but a high school roster of 22, 24, 25 in some cases, and it's just like, the starting 11 love you.
Yeah.
The players that come off the bench and get minutes, they really like you, and then the rest of them don't, they fucking hate you.
Yeah.
And that's hard to manage. It's hard to manage, but the manager's job and the coach's job is to get the best out of the players that he has.
Yep.
With a style in and out of possession of the ball. And I would say that I wouldn't even be bothered, right? I wouldn't even be bothered if England just went on the front foot, scored early, and then dropped in and
Kind of
sat
like
off.
Argentina do. Argentina do that. They score on the front foot and they kind of sit back a little
I
bit.
wouldn't be bothered because at least it shows style and it's consistent with Southgate.
Yeah.
Right? But what I've seen in the last 2 games has been nothing short of drivel. Just absolute no identity whatsoever.
Yeah, because you guys could be very dangerous if you went up 1-0 early and you didn't necessarily sit all the way back at the halfway, but you kind of let them have the ball. Then you guys have good players that can score on the counterattack.
I keep saying to myself, I just hope he's just trying to grind it out and get through to the knockouts.
That's what we're all hoping for, right? We're hoping that just get through. But that performance against Denmark.
Yeah.
One of the comments, whether you like it or not, was you've got £500 million worth of midfielders, and they are outplayed by a man who died in the last Euros.
Right.
No
joke.
Oh, jeez.
If you don't get it, it was
Yeah.
Christian Eriksen.
Yeah.
Obviously with his heart issue in the last Euros, outplayed more than the majority of that England midfield.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, but not kind of morbid as well.
You look at it as well. It's long seasons for everybody, right? It's long seasons for everybody, But even Bellingham's looked a little off. Kane looks like he's still carrying an ankle injury from Bayern.
Yep.
So. I was quite impressed when Ollie Watkins came on because I thought he did. I thought
his hustle was.
I thought
good.
he made some great runs. Yeah. Bellingham found him once there. I thought when Watkins came on, he did well.
And if Watkins puts the ball through the keeper's legs there a little cleaner and it goes in the back of the net, he becomes a hero and people are calling for him. But yeah, I thought he played well, and not just because he's a Villa player, but I genuinely liked the hustle, and it gave a little bit more. Than what we had with Kane on the field prior to that.
The Jared Bowen thing for me,
why Bowen over Cole Palmer?
Well, not even over that. It's just like, I understand that Grealish has not had the best season at City, but he's still a game changer when he comes on the pitch. He'll get you free kicks anywhere.
Right.
And he commands the ball. He doesn't lose it, Grealish, when he's got it. So you stick him on that left side like he's done so many times, and you just have him drive at players, and he creates. Yeah. He's a creator. Rashford's had a bad season, but he's traditionally done very well for England at Euros, and World Cups. He's been decent. You go with the players that not with an experiment with Trent Alexander-Arnold in the middle of midfield. What are you doing?
He literally said we're experimenting. We're experimenting, trying to find the replacement for Calvin Phillips. You can't
do that in the middle of a tournament.
This is the Euros, for Christ's sake.
They landed in Germany 7 days before the first game. You should be having training games to figure out what partner is going to partner Declan Rice between Mainu, Palmer, and Gallagher.
Correct.
I wouldn't even to me. Do I think Mainu deserves it? Yes, but if he turned around to I think Tuesday. I think on Tuesday there will be a change in that midfield.
Has to be, right?
Will be a change. And I think it'll be Gallagher because that's been his go-to twice now.
I say that's been his second man but first into the midfield in the center is Gallagher. Yeah.
So I think he'll go with Gallagher. I think he'll start Gallagher.
Okay.
And I think you'll see a difference in that.
All right, Brooks, you got something there?
Yeah, 2 comments. So Victor commenting, I think we expect it from Berhalter, but not Southgate. So I'd say Southgate is the bigger clown. And then I have a text message here from my buddy Dave Kane. Best decision Southgate has made in years is not taking Maguire. Kane is screwing up the free flow of the offense. That could be without him clogging lanes like he's the opponent's 6. And Rice has to go with Palmer, Bellingham, and Foden.
Okay, well, my rebuttal to that is he didn't not take Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire was injured.
Yeah.
So he didn't take him because of an injury.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Nate. How are you? Is it raining?
It took Luke Shaw.
Yeah. What?
And Luke Shaw's injured.
And he's injured.
He doesn't have another option at left back.
Well,
There is no other player in England that plays left. Like none. Like no player.
Not in the original 28.
There's no player in England.
You're missing the point. I said not in the original 28 that you took.
Then you take a new player. You don't take an injured player that can't even play. Or I don't know. You brought up
Chilwell.
No, you brought up the fact they didn't take your old Aston Villa buddy,
Mr. Grealish.
So why don't you just put him on the roster spot? Why take a player that, one, hasn't played for 10 months, 11 months, 10 months? About 11 months, 10 months, right? And he's not even fit.
It's kind of the best left back in the world when he is fit.
Okay, cool. And I'd be really awesome, too, if I was good at soccer, but ifs and buts don't get you to the end of the dance now, does it?
Danny, I kind of have to agree with Nate on this one.
If he's got like England should, with or without Luke Shaw, England should sail through this group. Agreed?
No.
100% agree. 100% agree.
No, I've been saying it for months.
You come in.
I've been saying it for months.
Right, so
I've been saying it for months.
If you come in late, at least have the balls to talk about a decent fucking have some validity behind what you're saying.
Yeah, okay, I will. Hey, you remember when Denmark played your team? And you remember when a Denmark midfielder went through Declan Rice? You're soft. Your whole team is soft. You get bossed around and pushed around the field. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Did I not see that? Did you guys see Rice go up and over and down and hit the ground? And the Denmark midfielders stand up.
Listen.
Did that happen? Am I wrong?
That one play happened, yes. Does that mean the entire team is soft? I don't know about soft. That's a bit like Brooks calling the American players girly men.
They are girly men. At least you have somewhat men and real men in England are girly men.
This is like PTSD on a Sunday normally through the Premier League season because he's taking the role of you, but the role is reversed. It's England that he's shitting all over.
No, I'm being dead serious, Danny.
Wearing a Germany shirt when he's born in the US.
And I'm usually doing it for men.
Take your English glasses off for a second. That happens. Or remember Jude getting smacked around in the first match one, getting fouled out of his skins.
I got a little bit of rebuttal to that.
Who is your player that's going to stand up for your team? Who is that guy who's going to start smacking other people around saying, we're not doing this anymore?
Sure, the guys that bring ankles, the Roy Keane of the team, right?
Mainu or Gallagher. They'll hit players.
Yeah, it has to be one of those.
Mainu hasn't touched the field, and Gallagher barely plays. And I agree with that. Put Gallagher out there. He should be playing.
No,
Homer should be playing.
So if you'd have showed up on time, that's what we were talking about.
I know. No, I was listening on the way there.
Right.
So I got you. I'm with you.
Now we're all friends again. Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. So here the bigger question, fellas.
Also,
the bigger question for everybody.
Hold on.
You're gonna do.
Got the M&Ms over there.
Oh, here we go.
Same thing.
Mom, spaghetti.
So we can go
Lose yourself.
full on fucking McGregor style.
Hold on. Listen, I'm just experimenting with something just like how your coach is experimenting with his midfield in the middle of a tournament.
Hey, we said it. We said it earlier.
You already said it.
It's
I know.
All right, but I'm going to ask you. Nate, I'm going to ask you. Bigger clown, Southgate or Berhalter?
Yes. Next question.
Show me the difference between these two men. I know.
Yeah, put some of that in there.
There you go, buddy.
So,
there you go.
Hey, I want to know right now from everybody watching, bigger clown, Berhalter or Southgate? Southgate's got probably a better, more experienced, technically better squad. Berhalter has a team that he just brings the wrong people.
It
The tactics
has
don't seem to be
massive,
away.
massive potential. The team,
Potential,
but he
yeah.
does not hit close to it.
You guys are saying the same thing, just different ways.
No,
You guys are literally saying the same thing.
I mean, listen.
No, you are. You're saying loads of talent, lots of potential. The talent's there. He's calling the wrong guys, but he's not calling the right guys. You guys are saying the same
well,
thing.
no. If
Danny,
if
you're
you
saying
heard earlier, why didn't
did.
he bring Vasquez?
Yeah.
Why didn't he bring
Why is
Vasquez
Aiden
right
Morris
now is
not
a
on
top
there?
3 striker. He's a top 3 striker for the men's national team.
'Cause,
Why isn't Vasquez in this squad?
Because he's not part of the cool network, like
Well,
Hold
that-
Your White.
That's true. He's
that's
not.
on
He's not
Berhalter.
the.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not in the
Berhalter.
fraternity.
He's not the fraternity.
Yeah.
Should
Actually,
He's a GDI.
I've got institutional knowledge of why that's not.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got institutional
Oh.
knowledge of why Vasquez is not playing.
Because why?
He's dating Bill Howder's daughter.
Is he?
Yeah.
Good for him. No, he's not. Isn't he married? He's married to somebody.
I'm joking. That's why he's
Oh.
like, usually when a player that's decent that's not playing.
He's like married and got a kid, just had a kid.
It's like Mason Mount. Like years ago, Mason Mount not playing in the England team. Oh my God, right? Southgate, so bad.
yeah. All right. So Danny, you're gonna go with Southgate, bigger clown, right?
I think they're both clowns.
Oh yeah,
In
absolutely.
a
Who's the bigger
complete,
clown?
in a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
But they're both clowns.
I have the right answer. I have the right answer.
Oh,
Hit me up, Babalu.
Tell us.
Go for it.
I'm sorry. I think Southgate's the bigger clown
Okay.
because like when Berhalter does something perplexing and you're like, why the hell would he do? He doesn't say he's wrong.
That's
he
true.
tries to explain why he's right.
It's like my thing. It's
so
like my thing. the other
Never
week.
would you hear like Berhalter go, oh well, I'm still experimenting with the midfield in the middle of a tournament.
He has an answer. is
He's
what
the
you're saying.
financial advisor that tells you the jargon that you don't understand because, and then he just spews that.
But
But,
he's
he
got an
won't
answer.
But yeah, but he's got an answer for everything.
And you could go, the answer's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, just like when he wasn't playing Gio, and the answer was bullshit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was
Can you
bullshit.
just imagine the head of the Football Association at the back of that press conference, at the back wall, watching that press conference, and Gareth Southgate's like this, and he's going, well, I'm still experimenting, and the guy at the back's just going like, fuck.
Oh no! Why PR department? PR department.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Nagelsmann ended experimentation like, I don't know, December after September of him taking over.
We'll
It's
get
just
to that
like,
Germany game.
man,
We'll get to the Germany game against Switzerland.
Nagel's experimenting was, hey, Cruz, can you come out of retirement real quick?
Oh.
sweet, cool.
Yeah.
Like, that was like
best move Nagelsmann's ever made was convincing Tony Cruz to come out of retirement
a farewell
and
tour.
anchor that
Click,
midfield.
you know.
You mean
Nagelsmann might not have been successful at clubs, but
who's the-
Bagelsman has been good at Germany.
Who's the guy that runs Michigan soccer for Michiganda?
that's
Kirk Johnson.
Kurt Johnson. Okay, so he's going Danny bleep Berhalter bleep me. So he thinks Berhalter is the bigger clown.
He thinks Berhalter.
Kurt, I just said they're both different clowns in different scenarios. They're both the fucking same.
Both the
So
same thing.
one's like a mime type clown, and the other one's like the balloon animal type clown.
Yeah, there you
Both
go.
are clowns.
Both clowns.
Just different art and craft. To
So we have one for Southgate. I think half a point for each for Danny because they tie.
I said Southgate, right?
Yes.
I got to go Southgate as well. I'm sorry. Over the last several tournaments, he's taken the wrong players. Now all of a sudden, he's taken some of the best players in the world and he's reduced them to children.
Yeah.
They're children. They don't know what to do on the ball. I mean, Phil Foden was scoring goals for fun at Manchester City. And you're telling me some of the talent he has around him in the England squad right now when they're playing against Serbia and Denmark isn't just as good?
Yeah.
Come on. And all of a sudden, he's scared to touch the ball. He's scared to take control. I mean, every time he makes a mistake, every time he does something, he looks over at Gareth Southgate. And it's just like, trust me, Southgate, bigger clown out of both of them. Plus,
Yeah.
Greg's got cool shoes.
I thought we were clowns. I thought we were the clowns.
Oh, we're definitely a bunch.
Aren't we the clowns?
Yeah.
Or is Nate?
Do I get to give my
No, I'm
answer?
pretty clownish because I'm wearing this thing and I didn't realize how hot it was in here.
I say you.
I walked in, I'm like, wow, it's a sauna, and I'm
Yeah.
sticking with this decision.
You're gonna lose weight.
We've got
I
the
made
heater
this.
on.
I'm in.
Yeah, we're all
I'm in.
losing weight right now.
Here's the thing. I'm not at Southgate. I'm not admitting I'm wrong. This is the right thing to do. This is what they do. It's the circle. The sweat in my suit here is going to self-cool. And I'm be
you're-
colder than all you.
you're not
You are the ones.
You're not a
wrong.
girly
How
man.
dare you question me?
You're not
How dare-
experimenting with what it's like to
No,
wear
this is
a-
how you do a press conference. Excuse me? You questioning me? Trent Alexander? I've seen this guy in training all day. I'm sorry. How many press guys? How many times have you seen in training? Yeah, that's right. Shut up.
We talk about practice?
Shut up.
All right, Brooks.
Gallagher, why am I not playing Gallagher? Because I don't like his name. Shut up.
Brooks, give us who's the bigger clown?
I'd have to go with Southgate. Just the talent that you have. I mean, you can pick anyone, and it's really difficult to mess that up, but somehow
Somehow he's done it.
he does. Yes.
Somehow he's done it.
Berhalter, you got to pick the right players, and they're not quite there, but they should have better success. But Southgate for sure.
If you're a Pep, if you're a Mourinho, if you're a Klopp, if you're an Alex Ferguson, if you're a Xabi Alonso,
Yeah.
do you win with this England team?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes.
Like 100% you win with this
Oh,
England team, right?
any one of those men. Stevie Wonder could
mean,
win with this
I
team.
should-
They don't joystick anyone.
You take him far.
You
At
take him
least
far.
You take him.
But I'm going to
real
say this
far.
right now. You guys understand. You do realize what this means, right?
Yeah, it's not coming.
It's not coming home.
No, it's 100% coming home now. We spent 15 minutes talking about
Because we called him a clown?
He said we're all going to look like asses.
Yeah.
We're all going to look
By the way, Victor-
big on our
in
face.
about 3 weeks, and go, yes, we knew it was
He's
coming.
now winning every game like 4-0.
He's just leading us into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so Brooks, you got
One
some
last
comments?
comment before we head to break here shortly. Craig has a size, from Victor, Craig has a size 5 shoe, so he's the least clown in this instance.
Hey, I wear a size 10, average shoe size, my friend.
Victor does know that the clown shoes aren't the real feet size, right?
I don't know.
I don't know if he knows that. I don't know if he
don't
knows
know.
that. All right, we will be back right after this.
Change tempo, yes, yes, drop out, good. Yes, touch play, right foot, yes. Scan, good. Touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Get side on touch. Play, see it, yes. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that segment. Let's turn off the clown piece there. Let us know in the comments who you think is a bigger clown. Is it Gareth Southgate for England or is it Greg Berhalter for the USA? Bigger clown in your opinion? Let us know in those comments, my friends. All right. Listen, there's a lot to get to. We've got a lot of games to talk about, both on the Copa America side and the Euros side, but we're going to jump in and talk about those Euros right now. There's been some phenomenal games. Just some games, some incidents. We did see today, unfortunately, a really bad incident in that Hungary-Scotland game. I don't know if you guys were watching that. Nate, you were probably on the other one. You were watching the, was it Switzerland-Germany game. In and around the 75th minute, I think it was. They didn't even show a replay of it. That's how bad it was. Free kick right around the halfway line gets swung in. Goalkeeper coming out. Defenders collided. The Hungary player, the only thing you could see from the first initial play of it was they must have collided heads. He was out cold.
Yeah, the
He was-
Hungarian
he was out.
Hungarian national team released a statement earlier on Twitter saying that he's conscious,
Yep.
but he's having an operation effective immediately because of the fact that he's fractured his face.
Yeah, I was about to say they didn't show a replay. That's how bad it was. They immediately, one of the things that I think they learned from the Christian Eriksen thing a couple of years ago. Do you remember when it initially happened? The Denmark team, they stood around and made a wall so nobody could see. Right now, what they've done is like today they brought these curtains on, these big blankets where people were standing up, hanging it up, and you couldn't see what was going on, so that a little bit of privacy could happen because. Yeah, it didn't look good. You could see before those blankets or curtains got there, the player, his arms were stiff and he was trying to roll over a little bit, and you're like, oh, this isn't good. He's out cold, but he's coming to, and it looks like he's in pain. And the same thing happened to Peter Cech several years ago, right? And that's why he has to wear that helmet now when he took that knee from
Raul Jimenez as well, right? He got his skull crated, from a challenge with a goalkeeper.
Yeah,
you know.
and it's funny. I've said it several times. My kids play for the Jags, and my son and daughter, they're 9 and 10. They play at that age, and there's no heading allowed, right? There's no headers in the game, and you're thinking, wow, why can't they head the ball? And I don't know if actually people know this, but it's not the ball that's going to create any damage internally. It's what we saw today when people are going for the ball with their head and they collide heads or they collide with a goalie who's jumping and their hip or shoulder, and that's the damage that really is where it's caused. We've seen this several times. So it's not the ball that's creating the damage, not anymore anyway. Back in the 50s and 60s, those balls were super leather and hard, and they were like rocks. Now it's the damage that gets caused from jumping and hitting, colliding heads and things. So, but yeah, the Hungarian FA came out and said he is conscious, but he is going to have an operation. So hopefully he's okay. Another injury that happened that's kind of affected the Euro so far, Kylian Mbappe.
Mm-hmm.
He went in to head the ball and headed the shoulder. And you just saw when he went down, you're like, oh, my word, his nose is definitely pointing in the wrong direction. Oh, my word.
We're in trouble now because now he's Batman. Again.
Yeah, now he's wearing that mask.
He's a Ninja Turtle.
Now he's a Ninja Turtle, yeah.
Yeah.
They did have a game yesterday, a closed-doors private game, which he played in and scored. So it looks like he'll be back for the next game. Definitely sat out that last game. And without Kylian Mbappe, in my opinion,
Netherlands should have won that game.
But France are a completely different team, are they not?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the strength of France is actually their defense over their offense. Lately, the way they've been playing, they haven't been scored on yet, and they just look really solid and really tough back there, really strong. But I kind of predicted that he wasn't going to play against them.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, it'd be silly to play him, right?
Yeah, you're going to draw a point, and then you're safe. I mean, you're good. You got 4 points. You're more than likely going forward, and you're sitting on top of the group. And that's basically where it's at. They're tied there. And he might play the next one. We'll see against Poland, and Poland has got nothing to play for except for pride, but you never know.
Now, Nate, I want to jump back to the Germany game. Germany-Switzerland today, while Hungary and Scotland played 0-0 into the 90th minute, and then Hungary got a goal. I mean, that game, by the way, Hungary-Scotland was back and forth, up and down. Any one of those teams could have scored. Hungary finally put the ball in the back of the net. Let me ask you a question about this. Germany went with the final game of the group stage here with the strongest lineup they could, pretty much all their starters.
It's been the same.
It's been consistent.
Yep.
Did they need to do that?
Yeah.
They were drawn. They were down for a long period of this game. They came back. They scored in the 94th minute with full Krug. What was the point? I mean,
Because
luckily they go through and won.
They had if the score would have stayed, and I said stuttering over myself. If the score would have stayed, they would have been second in the group
and still gone through.
But then you're playing the harder teams.
Yes.
So I would rather be first and playing the easier team.
So let me ask you this, because you watched that game, I watched the other game.
And there's a thing with momentum too.
Yeah. So, but did Germany play well? Were they just stifled? Was this because they've won their first two games, a 5-1 over Scotland?
That ref should never ref another Euros again.
Good, huh?
Yeah. And I'm not usually one to blame the ref, but when in a slow motion replay, you have a Switzerland player arms wrapped, like literally wrapped. We're not talking one, but wrapped and yanking down Maximilian Beer
in the middle on a set piece in the middle of in the middle of the box, and they don't call a PK. I don't know how that's missed.
I will blame that on VAR and the referee.
I will
but
blame that. But then.
But 5-1 over Scotland. They were
then
scoring
there's-
goals for fun. All of a sudden, they're
well,
stifled today.
Switzerland is a solid team.
Yeah.
They got great players. They got
It's the first time actually because I've watched all of Germany's games just because I wanted some shit to come back with him with.
Yeah, thank you.
The first 2 games, Germany looked absolutely ridiculously
Yeah,
good.
they looked good.
Like really free flowing and all that sort of stuff. Today was the first time, and they played against a team today that was well managed, well organized.
Sure.
And they looked troubled.
Is
by the way-
that the indicator that
Okay.
there's a way through this German
So-
team for the big boys, the big boys of
wasn't
France
just-
and
like,
England
it wasn't
and
just-
Spain and Portugal?
It wasn't just a team that was sat back and hitting them on the counter. This was a team, Switzerland, that were cutting through Germany in that second half.
Ooh.
Okay, let's decide what look beatable means in your guys' eyes. Germany had 66% possession, 18 shots on target, or 18 shots, 1.5 xG, and I'm telling you, there's 3 times penalties should have been drawn on Switzerland that they overlooked. Meanwhile, Switzerland's expected goals 0.6.
And we've seen this before.
So
This is a Jose Mourinho type thing. You can take the ball, we'll take the points type thing, right?
I mean,
And-
I thought
and Switzerland just needed a point. They knew what they needed. They didn't need to go out. They knew they needed a point. That's it. They needed a point today. They needed to keep the goal differential down, so they set up like that from what I understand.
I see, and I know what Danny's saying, but I kind of I thought Germany dominated that game to the point where, again, there was some really suspect calls. Swiss was pinged in the back, and I sat there and went, they're going to score Germany eventually because you can't sit back here like this.
Sure.
I don't disagree with you that Germany dominated the game in terms of possession. I'm talking about the way that
In the attack,
Switzerland
too.
play.
Yeah.
The way that Switzerland played. Switzerland caused them trouble today.
Switzerland's going to cause England trouble. Switzerland will cause England trouble if they play them.
Danny, I want to ask you a question. After the first game against Scotland, after the first round of games, we saw everybody play. We saw everybody play one game. You and I, and I think the group said, Germany right now are the favorites. They're playing well.
I don't think they're the favorites.
They're the
by way.
favorites to go on. You and I think, had admitted that. They look good. They're gunning right now. After today's game, still the favorites or tapered off a little bit?
No, I still think Germany are in and around it. I wouldn't say like that. I wouldn't say the performance necessarily dictates the fact that they're going to falter at any point.
Sure.
I just again, third group game, they're already through.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is the expectation, let's just go out there and not get any injuries?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right? But they were trouble today.
Okay.
And I don't know whether that was due to the fact that they took the foot off the gas and just said, hey, let's not get in, because they said before the start of the game, right, there were 4 or 5 players on German's first team selection that were on yellow cards.
Yeah.
So a yellow card means they don't play in a round of 16, right? So, I think it was just a case of let's get through the game with minimal damage and not get beat. But the other flip side to that was, and I don't know the exact pathway for them, but they were saying, well, I think the commentator said it was pretty advantageous of Switzerland to try and win the game and top the group because the harder opponent was coming to the team that topped the group
Right.
in
And
the
so
next
what-
stage.
And I agree with you up until they got scored on. And then when Germany got scored on, they pinned Switzerland back into their own half for the most part. And we're shelling balls in.
Yeah, and I think that was the point of they didn't want to get. I think that was the point of like any great team. Like you conceded. You're at home in front of a big crowd in a third group game. You don't want to get beat. Let's turn it up a notch.
Right.
I don't think Germany expected to be a goal down either. So.
And I think the substitutions again that they put in did well. I think Nagelsmann managed the game well.
I like him, mate. To be honest with you, I
doing a good job.
had my critics. When I said that he was a young manager and he didn't necessarily warrant the type of experience of a Jurgen Löw or somebody like that, but he's impressed me so far.
No, and I thought he was going to – it was a let's see what happens type thing. But going in there, I looked at it going, if he can get and do the things that he wants to do and get the players he wants, which he did, and you see he's not playing like Mueller or any of these guys. He didn't bring Hummels. He went away with a lot of guys, Julian Brandt, a lot of classic guys, and brought in like this is what I need, and a lot of first-timer guys, like Andrich that's playing in there. Guys who are going to do the job that he wants them to do with that specific position, and then he's just managing things left and right. And I think it's looking
I'll tell you what,
really good.
I'll tell you what, I am happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong because I said throughout the Bundesliga season, and I watched a lot of German games this year.
Thank you.
You don't have to thank me, honey. It's all right.
Just come on, put the other half there. There it is.
There you
Oh,
go.
good Lord.
Okay, so you don't like. I know I was really critical of him throughout the season.
Sure.
For Bayern, Musiala.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was dog shit.
Isn't good, is it?
I thought it was dog shit. And then the first 2 games, even today, in the first 10, 15 minutes today, he ran the game for Germany.
He's good.
He really ran the game, which pisses me off that he was in an England jersey.
I was about to say,
yeah,
he was a Fulham,
Yeah,
he was a Fulham
so
youth
just
player and played for England, and then
annoys
He
me.
played for your national
I
team.
say
Yeah.
he played for the youth national team, and all of a sudden, but there's
he gets
there's
the
ones
ball-
that come and go like that in every nation, right? I mean,
Right.
every nation has one that they've lost or that they can gain.
Yeah, I mean, Antonio played last night for the Jamaica, right? And he's an English guy, so I mean,
We're gonna get to
Musiala-
that game, by the way, the
Musiala was
Jamaica
good.
Mexico game. Sorry to cut you off. We're gonna get to that one because that's a big game. That was a fun game to watch.
Yeah,
Musiala's a good player though.
When he gets that ball in the 18, he just dances around through people. It's just
He's a German version of Phil Foden, right? Like,
but good,
yeah, he's really good. Like, it's
but,
changed,
but
like-
good.
but good in national tournaments.
And I think you can. I think
Okay, I'll
you
give you
can-
that.
I think
you that.
as a young player, you don't have a better example with a bloke playing behind you, in Tony Cruz.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Cruz just sits there. I mean, did you see his passing stats for the first game against Scotland? 99 passes, 99 passes, 98% completed.
He's still
Incredible.
upper 90s. I don't know after today, but at
It was
least the
just
first few
like
games
it's
he
just
was
so
97.
elegant. He got the ball today, like in a left back role in possession of the ball in the first 5 minutes of the first half, and the ball was bouncing. He's got pressure, and he just like so easily inside of the foot back to the centre back, and they went out the other way.
If you think about the games that he's played this past season against Barcelona, against Manchester City, against Borussia Dortmund in the final, he's played in some huge games. And now he's playing against Switzerland, and he goes, yeah, this is nothing. I can do this. And, I see, here's a 60-yard ball. I need to, hold on, touch.
I tell you what,
Incredible.
he reminds me of, and he's not got the goal scoring ability of him, and he doesn't have the drive to get forward. Although he just score some nice goals, his ability on the ball reminds me of Paul Scholes. His passing range and ability,
Passing range, yeah.
is just incredible. He picked up the ball in that first Scotland game, left side of midfield, and I think Musiala peeled off from the centre mid and out wide.
Yep.
And he pinged a 60-yard ball over a crowd of players.
Yep.
Pinpoint to his chest.
Yep.
Like
Incredible.
pinpoint.
Yeah, he is. He's a phenomenal player. I freaking love watching Tony Cruz play. Why he's retiring, by the way, folks, we are watching his last professional games here in the Euros. So enjoy it. I hope he doesn't make it through to the final, by the way. That's all I got. And I think he's one of the best players ever.
I still think Portugal's the team to beat.
Yeah? You think Portugal's the team, huh?
Oh yeah.
Man, I don't.
Do you know what? Do you know how I feel about Portugal? Portugal are the team in the tournament that can go and win it,
Yeah.
and the
never-
only team that will beat Portugal is themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got Ronaldo being unselfish, passing inside the 18.
Everybody's making a big deal about that.
I don't know,
I
man.
get it. I
You
get
got-
it.
you
It's
got-
it was the play that was
Hey,
that should. It's
you got
the
Fernandez,
play
who's
that
one of
should happen.
You got Fernandez, who's one of the better attacking midfielders in the Premier League and there right now. You got
He is playing well. I can't stand the guy, but he's playing well.
Portugal are a lot like England. Front six,
good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Back four, crap.
here's the
Old,
only difference.
old and crap.
Old
The
and
only
crap.
difference between Portugal and England,
Uh.
Portugal's got a better manager.
Oh, I would disagree with that.
Oh, I would not.
I don't know if I'm going to
Dis-
disagree,
oh,
but
I would not.
Well, actually,
I'm not going to give Roberto
hold on a
Martinez
second.
that much credit.
Hold on a second. I don't disagree with it, but I would not give him the credit that you just
Yeah.
gave him.
No.
I said he's better than Southgate. That's how much credit is that?
I mean, that's
I
not-
would-
I said- I mean, like,
I mean,
Not wrong.
What is he better with Southgate because he's won more games? Because
because he picks a good
Martinez
lineup.
is so bad.
Yeah.
Because he
I-
picks up a good lineup.
He's so bad.
Listen, hold on. We've had the whole Greg Berhalter and Southgate. Now we're bringing Roberto Martinez in. I gotta have this discussion with people because we've done it with Brooks, fellas. We've done this with Brooks.
What do I do?
Well, no, we gotta sit.
You just sit there and
Everybody,
shut it.
everybody, sit down. Pay
Okay.
attention.
What's that scene
The-
from Winning Credit? You shut your mouth when you're talking.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, pay attention when I say this. All right, ready? Okay. The best players in the world are playing on their national teams. The managers are definitely not the best managers in the world. The best managers in the world go and manage clubs. They do club ball.
Yep.
The top clubs in the world, those are the best managers, right? The best managers stay in club ball. The managers who manage the national teams, if they get fired, they go back and they coach in the championship. They coach in MLS. They coach in, teams that are not in your top 5 and 6 in your league. Just an FYI. So when we're bashing these managers, we're not bashing the best managers in the world. I'm sorry. Roberto Martinez, Cardiff City. Where else did he coach?
Everton. He did well at Everton.
Everton.
That was his best spell.
You just put that. Well done.
Just give me 1 second, right? I'm
Wigan.
completely changing the story just a second, but just look at the center screen and look at Nate. He looks like the Darth Sith off Star Wars.
All I gotta say is
does.
Martinez's win percentage with Belgium was 70%.
He was good with Everton for a few seasons.
70%.
By the way, when they fire Berhalter, Jurgen Klopp's going to take over. So there you go.
Pony.
70%.
He had
They're gonna
best players in
spend
the
the money to get
world
Klopp.
playing for Belgium at the time with
It's
Hazard and-
Belgium's golden generation. He can only win 70% of the games
And he took them, I believe, furthest they've ever been in a Euro and a World Cup.
with some of the best
with
players.
some of the best
world.
players in the world.
Yeah.
Not always the best player.
And
Not
they were
every best
inches,
player wins
and they were
the World
inches
Cup.
each time from advancing. It's like, how's that on him?
You could have coached the Barcelona team that Pep had and still won the Champions League.
Yeah, I probably could have.
So
I also probably could coach a national team. Know how hard it is? Who's really good? Okay, those guys.
Yep.
Go play.
Go play football. Have a ball. There you go.
Oh, you're not no good no more? Okay, you're
right.
off.
All right. So
You're on. And you know what
Belgium-
you don't do is you don't go, I'm still experimenting in the middle of a tournament. See, even I'm this.
you did nail that. Belgium, I will say, have gotten a little bit unlucky. Lukaku has 3 goals that have been called back. He would be one of the leading goal scorers right now in the Euros if it wasn't for offside here and there and VAR calling it back. The last one he scored called back off for offside because of a half an inch of his kneecap was offside. By the letter of the law, that is offside. So yes, I get it, but the referee could definitely not, the linesman could definitely not tell. Very unlucky. The leading goal scorer in the Euros, Mr. OG, with 5, I believe 6.
Original
actually,
gangster?
6. No. Own goal.
Oh,
OG.
the original gangster
Yeah, the original
of
gangster.
soccer.
Yes.
We all know that Wednesday is going to be the day
The day.
to
Dun,
watch
dun,
the Euros.
When own goal strikes again.
No, starting at 12 o'clock.
Put those games out there, my friend.
That
Go
is-
for it.
That is Group E. That is all Group E is all 4 teams tied with 3 points.
Oh yeah, it's that
and
one.
all of them just sitting about the same goal differential. And you're kicking off at noon with Ukraine versus Belgium. And,
Belgium win.
And Slovakia versus Romania.
Oof.
It's going to be it because a goal could go in for Slovakia versus Romania, and then all of a sudden they're up, and then another one, and then the tie, and then because it's going to come, it might come down to goal differential for these.
Oh, it absolutely could. So, guys, put in your calendars right now. Block that off.
Wednesday's going to be insane.
Wednesday from 12 o'clock till about 2:30, because it could go to PKs. It could go any which way with how even this is. Put about 2.5 hour block right there. Cancel it, and then head to Thomas McGee's in downtown Detroit in Eastern Market. Watch it with some friends.
Well, I will say this, plug for Thomas McGee's.
Mm-hmm.
If chances are they will have a thing called multiple TVs going on at once. Yes,
so you can
it's
watch
multiple TVs. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. This is where people watch more than one game at the same time.
Oh, do tell me more, please.
So what you do is you put one game on one TV and you put another game on the other TV, and you go cross-eyed. But what also helps with this scenario is alcohol. Does Thomas McGee serve alcohol?
Yes, they do.
Well,
Yes.
there you go.
Yes, they do, sir.
Wait, why are you? Is there alcohol in there?
There was. I finished my alcohol.
Oh,
I need to
cool.
refill.
Have you done this many times?
No.
Sounds like you've done this many times.
Welcome to We Are Soccer, the weekly
Have I done this
recap.
many times where I come in to do a show with no alcohol in front of me? Yeah.
No,
Apparently,
gone to the
have
bar,
books.
cross-eyed, and just drinking.
All right, so lots of games have been happening at the Euros. Boys,
It's on the line.
if you had to pick right now, based on what we've seen so far, if I said gun to head, who wins this whole thing, pick one team. Who wins this whole thing?
I'll go last.
Oh, that's a cop out. I've never heard of that team, by the way. Brooks, why don't pick a team, my friend? You sticking with Germany?
Stick with Germany.
Yeah, so you picked Germany to win them.
Yeah.
Danny, you had France, I believe, to win the whole thing. Sticking with them?
No.
No, because of that injury to Kylian Mbappe?
Yeah, I'm going to switch it.
Germany.
Espanol.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Yeah, they look good, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think it's either going to be Germany or Spain. I think if you put a gun to the head, I'll have to go with Spain. Yeah, they've looked really good.
So originally, as you all know, I picked USA.
Yes, you did.
Upon further research, apparently they're not.
After today's game against Bolivia, you're not so convinced?
Well, I researched this. Apparently, there's 2 tournaments going on, and they're not in this one. This was interesting. I didn't know this.
Newsflash.
Yeah, so I have to reconfigure everything. So here is who it's going to be. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
You ready? It's going to be England. It's 100% going to be England. It's 100% coming home. Here's why it's coming home. Because Southgate's really just secretly screwing with everyone. He is so mad at like English press and English fans that he's like, watch this. He's like, hey, Foden, I want you just to kind of like fall down when someone looks at you. But he's like,
Don't do anything
but coach.
good.
He's like, shut up. He's like, Jude, yeah, you just get pushed around. Kane, be nowhere in sight.
It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me.
It's gonna be England
that they come out of this group limping out of the group, and then
They're gonna be
round of
fired for
16,
the
the
rest of the tournament.
quarterfinals, and the semifinals.
And then we'll go back and delete this video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we definitely
Would
all
not
called him-
surprise me one bit. Total
all
Southgate.
called him a
Yeah.
clown.
So if he wins it, he's not a clown anymore.
That's next question.
You can't. He's
You can't take that back.
No, hold on. You understand.
Next
If he wins this, he possibly goes down as the best English national team coach in history.
He would.
He would.
He already-
Because they've never won a Euros.
So he's a king clown.
He would be a legend.
The biggest-
You could never call him a clown again.
He's a king clown.
You could never question him.
I don't like the fact that we'd have to call him a legend.
You'd have to. You have to now call him a legend.
I mean, back to back Euro finals would probably solidify the fact that he's a great
and he finished third in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to back Euros.
This is
they
your
finished the
guy.
World Cup, and then
All right, let me put
This
this
is
out.
the reality that you're gonna be living in
Let me
like
put
4
this out
weeks.
here, Danny, because he said if they don't win it, he's probably going to have to leave the position, right? I think he said that before the tournament started. He goes, I probably won't be back if we don't win it as manager. If England win it, if they win it, does he continue? And
I think
does
you
he get
have
the
to.
World Cup. He has to, right?
You have to.
he has to. Yeah.
You have to. You have to roll into the World Cup with this guy now because it's only 2 years away.
No, you don't.
You can't fire a legend, Brooks. He's a legend.
You could say you've done enough. I'm Gareth Southgate. I'm a step away. We got another guy in. There you go. Yeah, you do. You just leave it. You're just like, I'm done. I'm on top.
Hold on.
I'm on top of the hill.
Hold on. I gotta go ahead.
I think they're waiting, right? And I don't know how long they're going to be waiting, but I do like. There's two managers that I think are primed to take over the England job, right?
Oh, do tell.
Jose Mourinho.
After Southgate, Jose Mourinho would be one,
Really?
and two would be
A good coach.
and two would be Eddie Howe.
Yeah, I could see Eddie Howe. doing
Eddie
that.
Howe, I can see he's almost I don't want to say a typical England manager, right? He's coming like in the vein of the prior England managers, but don't forget Jose Mourinho signed with Fenerbahce, so he's there now. But he's probably got a release clause
He's
that
only
he
there
said.
for 2 years, and he's
He's
got
only
a
2
small
years.
release clause in it. So
Yeah.
he's just bouncing around. I mean, he'll end up taking the Portugal national team job or the English one.
Sure.
So he's openly admitted.
So-
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
So hold on. I got a real question for Brooks.
Yeah.
We all have bosses in life, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's at
Right.
home with the kid.
We all have bosses in life. Right? Gareth Southgate just makes history. He goes, I'm staying. You mean to tell me you're going to look your bosses in the eye and go, yes, this historic manager that has done something that we have not been able to achieve in, 60, 70, 80, since
History.
the history of the tournament. And, oh, by the way, 4 years ago, he was in the final. Oh, by the way, 2 years ago, he was in third. We're going to fire him now.
No, you just release
You're gonna
him.
no
You
no
know, we
no
didn't
no
use
no no no
fire.
no
We
no
just
no.
use
You are gonna walk.
It's a PR move.
No. I would like to. You tell me.
I think Brooks is gonna have to walk
I'm
this
the
one
boss now.
Yeah.
I would like you to pitch this to me.
Yeah.
Southgate just won. Big
Am I
ass
the
party.
GM and I'm answering to the FA?
You're answering to me now. So you
Am
are
I the GM and you're the FA?
I am sure.
Okay.
You're gonna
I'm
come
the
in
between Southgate
Come
and the
into
FA.
my office.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Brooks.
Yeah.
Apparently you wanted a meeting with me. I'm
Yes.
out drinking champagne and dunking on Canada and France because screw those countries. Because
Close the door behind you. We're gonna
because
have a meeting.
because we won. I just got off the phone with congratulating my best friend Southgate because I love the guy. By the way, we're getting ready to put the statue right next to Buckingham Palace. Go on, sir. How can I help you?
Yes. Well, Nate, I've come in here today to say we are going to release Gareth Southgate because.
Cool, that's a funny joke. What else do you got?
Well, you gotta let me finish. You gotta let me finish
Oh,
here.
you were
Come on.
serious.
Yes, I was
Okay.
serious. Yes.
Okay.
The players feel like they can't win the World Cup with him. They got a little lucky
Which
here
players?
in the Euro. Oh, well, all the guys currently on the squad.
I'll let
All of
Southgate
the
handle
guys.
that.
Yes.
The guys partying with Southgate are saying they
No,
can't
no, no.
win with him.
They're not actually partying with him. They're actually having their own party, and Garrett didn't get invited
No,
to
I'm a little bit confused here because I'm watching
it. Yeah.
nude English people and fans and nude players
in the fountain in front of Buckingham Palace.
with Southgate,
Celebrating
and they look
still.
really happy.
I think they're all the doppelgangers of all the guys, honestly.
Is
you
this
know?
what they call a deep fake?
Michael Tyson just said something. He goes, possibly you pull Harry Kane and a couple of the lads in, and if they say he had to go, then you fire him.
Yeah.
Well,
the guys who are partying after they won the final are going to be like, yeah, screw them.
the FA's not that smart, mate.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The FA's not that smart.
I was actually going to give a legit response, but you didn't let me finish.
no-
Okay, no. Let him finish. I want to hear the. I want. Come on, and then, please end it. I won't say another word. I
Fine.
promise. Please end it with the replacement. Just go ahead.
No, so I was guy in the middle. I'd be like, listen, Gareth just has been so up and down with the choices he's made. He's driven our fans mad. He's driven the press mad to ask him questions, and he responds with questions in the press conference that are just absurd, that I think it's time for this man to go. He's been out on top, and I think we have another replacement in our minds, a Mr. Jose Mourinho or a Mr. Jurgen Klopp that maybe would like to take over the England men's national team, and we shall win the World Cup, and then he shall be our best manager ever.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
We'll do it one first time.
I would just
We'll
like
do it the
hold
first
on.
time.
Hold on. I just would like to have my rebuttal.
Fine.
Said you were done, but okay.
That's fine.
No, I wanted him to finish.
Yeah,
He
let
was-
him-
Okay, he was
10
done.
seconds.
We gotta end
10
this,
seconds,
right?
and we're moving on.
So your suggestion is to fire the
We don't fire, we release.
to release the twice Euro final
Yes.
and Euro
You had the option to
champion,
release him.
and also the guy who got us in the final three
Yes.
for two guys who have never coached the national team and who aren't English.
Yes. Because there's no guarantee he's going to win the World Cup or do
Hey,
as
Danny,
well as he has in the last two.
Dan, you don't want to be my
competitions.
new GM now, or because it seems like that's an easier sell than the other thing.
Oh, my word. All right, we're definitely moving on. Last thing we got for the Euros before we move on to Copa America. Listen, in the Portugal game that happened yesterday versus Turkey, the game was stopped 4 separate times because 2 children, a 10-year-old, first ran onto the field and had a picture, took his selfie with Ronaldo. Okay, Ronaldo patted him on the head, got the picture, they took him away. The next was a teenager who ran on. Ronaldo said, no, go away. Then another grown man ran onto the field. And then a couple of minutes later, another grown man trying to have a picture with Ronaldo ran on the field. What the F is going on? We saw this happen a couple of times at Wembley. Now we've seen it a couple of times in Germany. Listen, the security's got to be better. This is getting bad. This is getting very bad. Nate, you'd like to say
You said it wrong.
Yeah?
They're not Turkey anymore.
Oh,
It's Turkey.
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 Okay.
Turkey.
what's wrong with what's wrong with players, children running to a pitch to get a picture with one of the greatest players of all time?
They had to stop the game.
So
In the middle of a game.
So?
The game's going on. You allow it once, you're going to have every kid in the world doing it.
so
All right. Well, that's an interesting take, Danny.
I like Danny's take.
be a fucking human, humanistic side of it,
Ooh.
mate.
Yeah, look at
Like,
this guy.
Be a
Like when
human.
you go to the manager and you tell him you're going to fire Southgate, you know,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, release him.
You
Release
don't-
him.
You don't know what that
Yes.
kid's going through.
Yeah.
You know, that kid just wants a.
He ran 60 yards past a past the security
isn't
guard.
Isn't that what football's supposed to be about?
Yeah.
Yeah, pleasing the players. When you release your manager.
Every 30 seconds, the game's not going to be paused, so kids can take pictures with Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Listen, we got some Copa America stuff to get to. We'll be right back right after this.
I'm Craig Hearn. Today, I'm here with the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. He's going to show me some simple exercises and stretches to do before my soccer games. Because to be honest, I'm getting a little older and I need to be better prepared for these games. All right, he's got some stuff he's going to show us. Let's jump in.
What's up, guys? Dr. Zach here with Craig. We're going through a dynamic warm-up here. Super important, especially in this age group as we get older. A lot of guys that I see, they go right from their car and straight to the field without any warm-up. We want to make sure that we're getting the body warm, we're getting loose, we get the heart rate up so that we can help reduce injuries. All right, guys, so I've got Craig currently doing some grass sweeps. He's doing a Frankenstein stretch, and he's also going through some pogos right now. Whoa, Craig, what the hell?
Yep, sorry, Doc. All this newfangled dynamic warm-up, this and that. What was wrong with my old warm-up? Oh, yeah, the doc was right. Definitely need the new warm-up. Oh, good Lord.
All right, let's jump into Copa America. That tournament started on Thursday. Argentina and Canada down in Atlanta in a field that was getting torn up. Nate, listen, we had a group text. I got to hear your answer on this. I said both teams are complaining about the field.
Oh.
Even the team that won 2-0. Now, before you explain that they're being crybabies about it, this game,
They're called girly men.
girly men.
Yes.
You're calling them girly men now. I think
Yes.
there's some people who might take offense to that.
That's not PC.
Sorry.
Lionel Messi missed a hat trick of chances in this game. It happens. Strikers grow through this. Still the best player in the world. Got, I think it was like an 8.2 or an 8.7 on FOTMob.
I mean, he didn't
Played
stay
phenomenally.
He didn't stay and play for Inter Miami.
No, he definitely. Wow. By the way, they're still winning.
Yeah.
Miami are still winning, which is great to see.
Eh.
Yeah. You can poo-poo it all you want. the other players are carrying
Let's
it.
go.
But Lionel Messi did miss a hatful of chances. Still played phenomenally. Just as a striker, just couldn't get the ball over the line. Nate, the field was being torn up. It got carted in 2 days before the game. Several days before this, the Atlanta team played in the MLS on the Astro grass. They brought in real grass 2 days before this game. It got torn up. It was pretty pathetic. You said they're both being babies?
No, they're both covering their asses for their shit performances.
Well, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, Canada's like, these field conditions aren't good enough. Well, yeah, you're going to play in Tim Hortons Field in February on turf on ice. Sweet. It's so awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm sure you're the experts at field conditions. And then Argentina. I'm not done. Argentina.
Played against Argentina, the World Cup winning Argentina.
Yeah, and
team.
Argentina was
Canada played
embarrassed.
Okay.
And Argentina, yeah, that's why they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed. So they're going, the reason why we couldn't thump the hell out of this team that sucks because Jesse Marsh is the worst coach in the history of worst coaches, and Canada's a joke.
Good game plan.
I am talking. Canada is the worst ever team ever of ever. Right? Game plan. Messi should have had 23 goals, and we know it. And the reason why he didn't is because he's slow from playing in that joke of a league called MLS that's ruined him.
Whoa!
And now they're out there blaming turf and whatnot because they can't say that the legend has lost a step playing in that joke league of MLS. Back me up here, Danny.
Wow.
Honestly, as good as that rant was, it wasn't as good as the Jadon Sancho one, but
they all can't be Jadon Sancho-esque,
yeah.
okay? You know?
I actually think that it should be a requirement of professional football, whatever level, that you have to play on grass.
Yes.
They played on grass.
In an actual grass, like.
So
what he's saying is.
Well, Weston McKennie said this. That's what his comment was.
What
They
Danny's
should be
saying
played
is
in the MLS
in the
stadiums.
MLS, they should be playing on grass a couple of days before they played on the Astro grass.
And I know
which is
poo-poo, you
terrible.
can't put 100,000 people in a stadium, but they should go into a stadium that has Nashville, 50, 60,000, play in their stadium. That's what they should do.
Danny, let you finish.
And the thing is, right, is that this is a tournament, right? This is a tournament. If you can't prepare for a tournament, then don't have it here.
Right.
Because Dubai had the World Cup there, right? in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, where the last World Cup.
Yeah, Qatar.
Qatar, in Qatar. They managed to do it on all grass.
Yep.
I know it was a couple of months before and grown and all that sort of stuff, but if you're playing professional football at any level, you should be playing on grass.
Yep.
You should not be allowed to play on turf.
So, in all seriousness, Canada sucks.
I agree with that.
Anyways, but outside of that,
okay.
and I said, I can't remember if it was to all you or just you, where when we were looking at the differences between the morning Euros, which is a hot espresso-like shot of glorious soccer. You got Netherlands fans in the thousands dancing in the street the same way. You got saxophone guy from Germany playing it up. You're like, oh my God, this looks beautiful. They jump on a field. It looks amazing. The crowd's in it and chanting, see a red, see a orange, whatever the color is that day. Horns and trumpets from England. This is great. And then you turn on the evening snooze fest. It's basically a decaf Tim Hortons slobby coffee that sucks from Canada. And you're just like, what the hell is this? What did I step into here?
Nate,
and I think the reason is, honestly, the difference is
You need help.
Is you shut down in Europe. They shut everything down. There's no other stuff. There's no other soccer going on.
You need
right
counseling.
now. I do. Right now, MLS is
we're
going.
looking for it.
MLS is still going.
Yep.
Yeah, the other
So
league's
you're
still going.
splitting your market.
Yeah.
Absolutely are.
And then that's some of the you have beautiful stadiums here
Yes.
that you're not utilizing.
Yeah, why
they should
didn't-
have took a break.
Why,
Correct.
why didn't the MLS take a break like every other European country?
Well, because they also have Leagues Cup coming in where they literally take in July. It's a month-long break from the league, so that's. I mean, the inner competitions they have and the domestic ones, like they kind of threw it off.
Can I explain this?
They're watering
Is this-
it. Are they
so
not
is this
watering
going to
it
be?
out?
So just correct me if I'm wrong. Is this going to be the same in 2 years when the World Cup comes?
No,
out?
I
Still
don't
gonna have
think.
the MLS go.
Oh no, haven't they debated if it's going to play
I
or
don't-
not?
You can't play MLS games when the World
They
Cup is
shouldn't.
happening, can they?
It'd be stupid.
No.
Be stupid. But
Yeah.
who knows? You
Danny,
bring
you
up
might
a
be
good
right,
question.
though, but good Lord, I would hope not.
Can I sum up what's actually driving all this? Apple TV, money.
Money. Absolutely.
Apple TV. If
Yep.
this was Fox, I guarantee you would have had everything shut down because they would have said, hey, let's take a break. We're not going to split our ads and advertising and whatnot between soccer in America. And you have Apple TV and Fox now fighting each other.
Nate, you had a really good description of the Euros and Copa America. Here's another one for you. Euro is like watching a really talented and fun hip-hop dance competition. Fast-paced and high-skilled. The Copas is like watching a knife fight outside of a club at 3 a.m. Not as artful, but they know how to handle a knife, not like you're turning away either. I think that's the best description I've ever heard because you're right. You're right. That game last night, Mexico versus Jamaica, same thing.
Can I summarize?
Go for it.
I think the Euros is like having a date with Margot Robbie,
Ooh.
and watching the Copa America is like getting a rectal exam.
Ooh.
I'm gonna piggyback on that.
Oh. Well.
The Euros is like having a date with Margot Robbie, then waking up the next day and realizing it was Brooks all along.
Whoa. That's uncalled for.
I'm just saying it's not what you really wanted.
Everyone wants
I mean,
me. Come on now.
I would say it's uncalled for, but
Come
after
on.
your Southgate firing rant,
Hold on. Let me reverse this.
Look at this thing. Come on. Everyone wants this.
The Euros is like having a date with Brooks and then waking up and realizing it was a date with Margot Robbie or something. It just
There you go.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Even
All right.
Margot Robbie wants me, but just, she
Well,
just hasn't admitted it yet.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's jump in. Look, some of the games that have been happening at the Copa America I've been thoroughly entertained. That Mexico game last night versus Jamaica, I was entertained. I thought I was entertained. I was entertained.
Were you smoking pot at the time?
I was entertained.
Were you
all I
smoking
gotta
pot
say.
at the time?
No,
It was crap.
I was drunk.
It was pony.
pretty crap.
It was, wasn't it?
Oh God, no! I thought it was
pretty
good.
crap.
I
It was
entertained.
crap.
It was pretty
It was
crap.
honestly,
I like the Canadian Argentina game. I thought that was good. I watched that one.
That was equally as
the
crap.
best analogy of that game, right? Is if the country's names in the top left-hand corner weren't on the TV, I thought I was watching MLS.
And it was actually if you
Yeah,
look at the lineups.
I mean,
Okay.
honestly,
All right. So here's the thing I'll tell people though, right? I tell people this all the time about MLS. When you go right from watching Premier League to watching MLS, you can't compare the two. When you go from watching the Euros for a week and then all of a sudden jump into watching Copa America at night,
A week?
you can't.
You mean go to watching Euros
30 minutes prior.
Yes,
like,
yes.
I
But you can't compare the two because one is an elegant hip hop dance, skillful, and the other one's a knife fight
Yeah, it was
outside
like
of a club.
today. I watched the Germany-Switzerland game that ended at 5 o'clock, and the US game started at 6. I watched 10 minutes and went, I'll watch Teal Team. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, trust
Turned
me.
it off.
I know.
It's like,
I know. But
what?
but-
I'd rather see people run around with guns and heavy gunfire and kill people than watch the US play on TV.
speaking of which, did you see Ecuador versus Venezuela where that guy
Oh,
got
my-
red carded for kicking somebody in the face?
Oh, Valencia?
Yes.
Valencia
Why did that have to go to VAR? How did the referee miss
They
that?
wanted to make sure the cleat marks were actually into his skull.
He wanted to see how far they went in. I mean, how did he miss it? That reminded me of the Nigel de Jong on who did he kick in the
Stu Holden?
no
No.
in
It was in the
2010
World
World
Cup
Cup final. Holland versus Spain.
Oh, De Jong, I know exactly the tackle you're
Oh.
talking about.
Is it
Is
Iniesta
it
or
Busquets?
Busquets?
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't Iniesta, was it? I think it might have been
Busquets?
Busquets. Yeah, he just puts his. And how that wasn't a red card. I mean, but back in the day, the referee.
In 2010, back in the day.
Get up, shake hands.
Yeah.
You're all good. Let me see the any blood. Just a little. You're good. Onwards we go. Maybe a yellow card. Nowadays it's a red card.
The Mexico goal was decent. I will give him that. That was the only thing.
Oh, yeah,
that was
he hit that
decent.
well.
He hit that well with his left foot.
They lost their center back, Alvarez, right?
Yeah, the
That's-
captain,
yeah,
Edson
the captain,
Alvarez.
yeah.
They said it was a hamstring injury. It looked more like a knee injury.
Sure.
One of the funny things, not funny things, but he refused to get into the stretcher.
He walked off.
He walked off. There was a player a long time ago now, 20 years ago, Milan Barros. You remember him? Played for Liverpool, played for Villa. I think he might have played for someone else. He actually broke his leg on a field, and he refused to be stretchered off the field. He said, someone needs to help me. I walk off soccer fields.
Oh, wow.
He walked off the soccer field with the help and assistance of a teammate or two. But I was always almost thinking last night with Edson Alvarez, maybe it's the same thing. He doesn't want to ever be stretchered off a field because he walked gingerly and, he looked in pain.
Yeah.
So his Copa America is done. I do want to say, is anybody else getting into the Copa America tournament? Because I don't know. Again, I'm not comparing it to the Euros. It's a different game. The fields are not as good. The play is not as artful and skillful, but it is still entertaining. There's still some of the best players in the world playing in it. I do expect Argentina to go in and play Brazil in the final. And that is a game, Danny, you have to tune into.
Oh, I'll
right?
watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch that. 100% I'll watch that.
But you're not watching Mexico.
I'm not watching any game until the final.
No Concafa?
No
Concafa?
FC.
No some Concafa?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I thought it was going to be Canada, USA in the final.
Mm.
Yeah.
No.
Canada with some upsets.
No, Canada's
When
not
is the
getting out of
Copa
the group.
America final?
It's the
July
same day.
First, it's not the same day as the Euros, is it?
Yeah, I
The
think it's
21st, 14th or the 21st.
I think it's the same day.
Ah.
Oh no, is it the same day as the Olympic?
It started. Yeah, it started later, so I believe it's July 21st, the Sunday.
Okay.
It's less teams, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only there's a way that we could figure this
don't
out.
know if we
Some
had-
type of
Yeah.
July 14th,
Is it?
Oh, wow.
14th?
It's the
Okay,
same
it is.
day
It's
as
the same day.
Euros.
Morning and night,
8
right?
p.m.
Mm-hmm.
8 p.m. So obviously the Euros will be at 3.
Mhm.
We'll be there. What a day of football we have there, lads. Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
England and Canada winning.
Well, they were buddies way back in the day, so there you go. That'd be very ironic.
Canada. I already said England's going to go. He's coming home.
Just pissing you off.
Oh, I mean, you got to be
All
realistic.
right.
I think this
Oh,
Canada team's not bad, but we'll
All
see.
right, I
think
do
they'll
wanna
get out of the group.
I do want to get the feelings on some of the news that's been happening up. We happen to have a group text that went round a couple of days ago. Hands, Michael Elise from Crystal Palace has now gone to Bayern Munich.
Not yet.
Not yet officially. They're agreeing terms. Now Chelsea called it. It's
Agreed terms.
they've agreed. The terms are coming together. It should be done. Fabricio Romano has come and said it's going to happen. They're just working out the final details of the terms, so it's going to happen. Listen, he turned down Chelsea, or rather, Chelsea turned Olise down because his salary demands were astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I've ever heard Chelsea turning down anybody's salary demands, by the way. So I have got to imagine his salary demands are way out there.
Maybe it's a new look thing for Chelsea. Because Bowley's out of the way now, right? So
Yeah, he stepped back.
yeah, they've stepped back, so they've signed a new CEO.
No, I thought not till next year.
No, this year.
No, he's stepping back at the moment, still there, but in 2 years he's stepping out from being CEO completely. So Elise is going to be heading to Bayern Munich for $50 million. Again, Bayern Munich stocking up on wingers and just fast-paced forward. Nate, they have other needs.
They have no midfield. This is stupid.
This
It has nothing to do with Alicia. We had this
I
conversation.
wouldn't rule out the fact that Bayern Munich is still in for Paulinho at Fulham.
Yeah.
They're still in for him to come into that midfield.
Yeah.
Maybe, but they have no defensive midfielder that's worth a grain of salt right now. I mean, that's their biggest problem, and I don't understand where this guy fits in when you have Coman, Gnabry, Sané, Tels, and Musiala that all play that position.
Someone's got to be shifted out, right? There's got to be someone leaving the
just kinda like
club to make room for him.
Gnabry probably, I would have thought.
Yeah, he was injured for quite a bit last year and just didn't perform up to par.
I mean,
so
I would
has to be the play.
I would
But it
flip
also
that.
depends on salaries.
Still have
right?
Sané, Tel, Coleman, and Musiala.
But I'd put Sane on the right. Sane on the left and Elise on the right.
Yeah.
With Kane through the middle.
And then Coleman, Tels, and Musiala.
It's a good front three.
Well, Musiala plays through the middle though, doesn't he?
He's been playing out wide for Munich and national team.
It's a strange one all the way around because it's going to cost them $50 million.
It was a strange appointment, the manager. So this
Well,
is just
that's
falling in
true.
line with the
And
same
so
shit.
it's the same thing with Ito that they just bought from my team Stuttgart,
Yeah.
which, by the way, it's cool. We just sold all our center backs. So
By the way, it's a fire.
So you have
sale
more
in
money to
Stuttgart.
go buy players.
But that's not what they intended to do. They
we
just
sold our 2 starting center backs. You don't win second and go into Champions League and go, you know what? We don't need center backs anymore. It's unless you're Craig. I mean, what's going on?
No team needs defenders. Let's stock up on wingers and forwards and goals.
You don't need that shit.
Do
You
this.
don't need it.
You don't need tables.
Best defense is an offense. We're going to win 10-9.
You don't need chairs. You need tables, right?
Exactly.
Maybe they're just playing with a back three.
We were playing with a back three. We sold 2 of the 3. That was 2 of the 3 that we had. Now we have 1.
You'll be okay, Nate. You'll find-
No, I don't know if we will, Brooks. I really don't. But we'll not segue onto that.
You need some positivity.
I heard a rumor that they're after what's his face Lindelof.
Who?
Stuttgart.
Lindelof.
Mm-hmm.
Lindelof? Lindelof.
He'll probably come at the right
can
price.
keep-
He ain't going to cost.
Keep saying it, but Lindelof.
Lindelof.
He's not going to cost a ton of money. He'll come at the right price.
Lindelof.
It'll be a good appointment, especially if you get him on a free.
Lindelof. Anyways, so it's the same thing with their appointment of Ito. They have Sar, Deer, McKendo, Delit, Kim.
Well, Delict may be out, right? He may be going.
Maybe until someone buys the big ass contract and salary this guy makes that they gave him, he ain't going anywhere.
Delit's leaving.
So maybe he will, but it's a
Maybe.
big contract and a big chunk of salary. It's the same thing with Gnabry. These guys are making a ton. You can't just go, yeah, he's going to leave. He's still on contract. He has a bolstered salary from Munich.
How's this fit within the German system? I feel like they've gone over their cap.
Yeah. So they got to sell
Pay
players.
the luxury tax.
And they
Munich have.
Munich, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't have a midfield.
Yeah.
So they have an army of center backs and an army of wing players and Harry Kane.
There you go.
It is a bizarre way to spend £50 million.
They're playing a 5
They're playing a
4
5
5-0-4-1.
Ooh, I want to
Dump and run.
Brooks, what do you got?
So someone sent me, Dave Kane's actually sent me this meme. So it says breaking. Todd Boehly and Chelsea have made a $100 million bid for own goal for leading the Euro 2024 scoring charts.
He would probably do better than Nicholas Jackson at Chelsea,
Yes,
by the way.
own goal to Chelsea. Apparently, that's the rumor.
Chelsea, by the way, are still bidding for every freaking player on the planet I've seen linked for 40 to 60 million.
To finish in 10th place.
To finish in 10th place. Oh,
Yeah,
you better hope they do. They're right now are talking to Aston Villa about buying Johan Duran for £40 million. Villa bought him
Man,
last
that's a
summer.
lot for a guy that's not proven.
Villa paid $19 million from
Do you know how much the Chicago Fire probably get for that? The Fire probably like, please buy him, please buy him.
I don't think there's a sell-on clause with the Fire. I think the Villa said we're going to overpay for him, and we will retain everything here. £40 million for a guy who came off
He's
the
so
bench at
unproven.
Villa,
Yeah.
scored a couple of goals.
He doesn't even start for his national team. I think he's with the Colombian national team, and he doesn't even start.
Yeah. So, hey, Chelsea, let's keep doing this. Let's do this. And if you could talk Conor Gallagher into coming to Villa Park, that'd be great. Very much appreciate that. Danny, you had mentioned earlier there was some transfer news you wanted to chat about, or you had that you knew of. Forget what it was now. Do you remember?
It was well, obviously I think Aston Villa have been pretty
Moving players around.
moving players around in the last couple of days, right? You know, what's his face? Douglas Luiz and his girlfriend are the first package deal to go to Juventus.
So they're heading to Juventus. Douglas Luiz valued at $50 million. 2 players coming back, but Villa need to do it before June 30th to comply with PSR.
I don't think McKennie's going that way,
No,
though.
McKennie's not. And I'm wondering now, the original report, not to hijack your story here, Danny, the original report was that Weston McKennie didn't want to come to Villa.
Right.
But now I'm thinking, after watching him and seeing how out of shape he is, that report might not be true. It might have been Villa saying, no, please don't include him in this deal. We would like someone else because that isn't going to make it in the Premiership.
And then FC Cincy wants
There's Douglas
him.
Luiz. I forget the name of the player that Everton just bought from Villa.
Oh, Ibrohim?
Ibrohim,
Yeah.
they
And then
bought him,
coming
and
back
then-
in a separate deal, we got Lewis Dobbin.
See, Calvert-Lewin went to Newcastle? Are they looking at buying him?
They're
possibly?
looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's not a
There's a
done
couple
deal.
right now.
Yeah.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka's apparently agreed terms with Galatasaray.
Okay, I didn't see that yet. Okay.
There's just the usual, like obviously the usual rumors. Mason Greenwood is £40 million, almost a done deal to Juventus, apparently.
Yeah, I'd say that's an interesting one as well.
The Jadon Sancho one that's kind of like a
That's hanging out there. Who's he reported at this point? Is it?
Well, Dortmund want him, but I don't think they can afford the $40 million.
Dortmund wanted him, but not for what United wanted to sell him. Apparently, is what
is he all right?
So, which translates in, yeah, we'll take him, but we know that he's not going to stay there.
Yeah,
and you need to sell him.
Yeah.
It's
and
just
he wants to come here.
That'll just go down to the wire probably,
will.
and it'll be United will get the players that they want in, and they'll just go give us $30 million is yours.
Yeah,
Whatever.
How much should he be worth? Because he was brought in for $75 million. How much should he be worth? Should it was 30 to 40?
I think we overpaid from him back then. I think he's probably a £40 million player.
Even back then he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with his performances this season, he's probably a £40 million player.
I think you're probably right.
It's probably a fair value for a player that's not in the national setup, that can't get into the national team. I mean, if you're saying he's $40 million, it's probably fair market value. Then what's Saka worth? What's Foden worth?
Yeah,
80, 90 million. I mean, almost double the price.
I mean, if someone wanted Foden or Saka, they'd be in the 120 million for sure with how young they are and the way they can score goals.
The
Just don't watch a European performance.
The Lit's on the way, apparently. Joshua Zirkzee from Bologna.
I saw that one, but there was some
Centre forward
rumor
for the
that
Netherlands.
that couldn't happen due to that he played too many teams in the past year or something like that. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's that. It's just I think that he'd agreed terms or signed terms with AC Milan.
Oh,
right? And he's trying to get out of it now because there's a number of other clubs in Europe that want him. Arsenal want him. Man United want him.
Little Skyver.
Yeah.
You shook hands,
So
you signed a deal, and now you want out of it.
He's doing a Mikel Obi.
The guy you really want in your team?
I mean, that's an interesting one. Yeah. Okay.
So there's a couple.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Jared Braithwaite one is an interesting one. So
I think the rumors and the transfer news and all that's it's not as heavy right now because of the Euros and Copa America that's happening. But right as soon as that all happens, it'll all hot up again. Now, what a lot of people give me 1 second, Nate. What a lot of people don't understand is the Euros are going to finish on the 14th. And then all of a sudden, these teams are traveling. They get into their preseason. I know Villa coming over there playing 3 games. I know Man United are coming. Chelsea are coming. Wrexham are coming. All these teams are getting in. So they're going to have to get this. A lot of the transfer work is going to be done in the late part of July, early part of August, and into the season. And I hate the fact that we do transfers once the season has started. In my opinion, once the season started, that's it. Closed doors. We're done. But that's not the way anymore, is it?
I think you'll start to once the teams. It usually happens, doesn't it? Once the group stages are over, and teams start getting knocked out and players going on the holidays.
That's a good point.
Then people start signing. So you'll start. And the last group games are Wednesday this week.
Yep.
So I would assume you'll start seeing some movement of players till later in next week, early next week.
We're so used to seeing that news and grabbing onto it and spreading that rumor that it just doesn't happen because of all the other stuff that's happening.
So that's exactly what I was going to say. Historically speaking, your
as soon as the teams go or they're out of this tournament, followed by the last few, it's usually a week off and everything's signed.
Yeah.
Most of these deals, they are pretty much already done
Yeah.
with the agents and the representatives. They just, out of respect and not to create drama and all this other stuff during a tournament, the players don't sign anything or don't really talk to anything. They wait till everything's done and then they do all that stuff. So all that business isn't news and distracting from what they're trying to do.
Yep.
But the reality is most of these, I would say probably most of the deals are probably almost done. If not 90% done, just need the final little bits.
I know a lot of the managers right now, the club managers are on vacation. I read a report today. Unai Emery was doing some things, going on holiday for 10 days with his family and trying to stay away from football. But
The funny thing is that most teams will be back next week.
Yep.
So most teams are back on July 1.
So I got a question for you boys. There's always one transfer that happens after a major tournament, whether it's a Euros, whether it's a World Cup, or it's Copa America, and you go, that player had a good tournament. That doesn't mean they're worth that. Is there a player right now in the tournament where you've seen and you've like, well, okay, that could be the guy who makes a big jump at the end of this tournament that no one really knew of? There was the player who went from the Nigerian player who was purchased by Liverpool back in the day. He was the African player, but he dyed his hair blonde. Who was it?
Diouf.
Diouf, yeah. That's it. He was the one everybody went, we'd never heard of him.
United did it with the Czech Republic. They bought Karol Poborski after a really good
There's
year.
always one player, and you're thinking, whoa, he had a great tournament, and then he gets bought for a lot of money, and then he falls flat.
The only one that I would say right now, but he's not leaving Bayern Munich, would be Musiala.
Yeah, but there's a play like the one Nate, you and I were talking about him the other week. Sesko, the striker for
Benjamin Sesko.
Yeah,
Salzburg. RB
He's been on a lot of.
He's on radars, but is he
signed a new contract?
Did he?
Yeah, he just signed a new contract with RB Leipzig. Yeah.
Doesn't mean much. He's been on. They do that. They sign him and then they did the same thing with Adams.
But I don't think a lot of people in the world really watched a lot of those games, and all of a sudden you get to see him on the stage, and clubs go, "Oh, you can do it on the club. Do it on that stage. Maybe we kick in and buy." Yeah, Brooks.
The one I would say, honestly, in the Copa, which he had a good season in France, and if he has a good Copa America, is Jonathan David. He's been linked to a few English clubs, and
yeah. Who's he with now? Is he Lille?
Lyon, I think.
Lyon.
Yeah.
I got a name for you.
Yep.
And if it just all depends on if he keeps going and how Spain finishes and if he continues producing in Spain. He's already had one man of the match honor, and he was being shipped out from Chelsea at one point last year. Mark Cucurella.
I was about to say, do not say Mark Cucurella. I
I
don't understand why they took him.
But
that's
that's how it is. Let's rewind and remember the premise. Not a player who's good, but a player who has a good tournament, and then will get sold. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He's having a good tournament. He looks very, very good. Actually, I saw a meme saying that Chelsea reached out to the Spanish team and asked if they could buy Mark Cucurella, and they reminded him that he'll be returning after the tournament's over. So, he's having a good tournament. They were already trying to ship him out and sell him last year. I mean, they could turn it around, but who knows now?
I don't understand why they took a player like him and they left a player like Pau Torres at home. But,
hey, sometimes it's, do you fit the system? And
there's a lot more behind the scenes. You're right. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming you guys are pretty happy that he didn't get sold off to Man United last year, right? Because
the other guy we got was so much better.
Well, I think Cucurella was worse. I think Cucurella was terrible in the Premier League. But you're right. I think he did have a man of the match performance cup the other day, and it'll be interesting to see if he can continue that form. If anybody out there has any names that they think will be that big signing coming out of this tournament, have a great tournament and turn it into a whole new contract and a sale at a club, let us know. All right, we did ask a couple of questions the other day. I put on the Facebook group. If you're not part of our Facebook group, get on the We Are Soccer Facebook group, friends. This thing is fire. They got some great banter on there. Some great questions, some other really good things. But I put a question up yesterday that said, hey, do you got any questions that you want us to answer? Is there anything you want us on the show live to answer? Brooks has been collecting
Can we cut
some of these. What? Wait, hold on. You put a question.
And you didn't answer it right.
Because you're not supposed to answer the question. The questions get answered here.
Then why'd
on the
you
show.
answer it wrongly there?
I don't even. Maybe I was drinking. What did you answer? What did you ask?
The numbered base system, you have to.
Oh,
you
that
have
was
to-
on a
you-
different thread.
You have to. No, that was on.
I was on that thread.
You
I-
have
I've
to
read
say
it, yeah.
one positive thing. What is one positive thing that you have to say out of doing that? Go.
One positive thing about the numbering system.
You have to do it. What is it? What did it go?
Oh my God, I hate the number system.
That's not what we asked.
And I've got-
I didn't ask for your opinion on it.
get
I
it.
asked
I get
for
it.
you to
I
give
know.
me one positive thing. Quit adding.
I hate it, but
I didn't
one
ask
thing
that.
is, my kids are, I think, learning. God, I can't even do it because I don't think that's even right. I can't do it. What is one positive thing about this numbering system here that no one else in the world?
I
uses?
asked you that.
I don't know.
You can't ask the question back to me that I have asked to you.
I got you. Here's one. When the coach tells my kids what positions to go play, and they look at me and I go, I don't know what that is. I have no idea where you should be right now on the field. And they go, great, I can just go play without Dad yelling at me.
Oh, so it shuts up obnoxious parents. Nice. I agree on that one.
Yeah. Other than that, we'll get into that at some point. All right. What are some of the other questions that were asked for?
All right, so Adam Smalley says, Graham Taylor was a turnip. Steve McLaren was the Wally with the Brawley. What's Southgate?
Something with a waistcoat,
The
right?
turd in the punch bowl.
The wanker with a waistcoat.
The legend that brings it home.
Oh, God.
Southgate, then the non-fabulous. I don't know.
My dad calls him Mouthgate because he's just a mouthpiece
Mouthgate.
for the FA.
The immortal one.
He does what the FA tell him to do.
Sounds
The immortal
Good,
one.
Actually, that's a good one, Mouthgate, because he's a
Yeah.
financial. He's a FA puppet.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
it. All right, next question.
Oh, man. Why, oh, why? This is from Bill Fluharty. Why, oh, why can't Lukaku stay on side?
Lukaku was born offside, mate.
Actually, Bill refed my game this Thursday.
Your over 40 match?
The over 40 match.
Did you play with Celtic this time?
No, it was my Bullets.
Okay.
Bullets, who, by the way, they're in the Founders Cup final, or State Cup final, something final next Sunday. Should be
Okay.
fun.
You going to play?
I always play in the finals.
You just don't play in everything else.
Yeah, I skip everything else.
Yeah.
Just in the finals.
Typical.
Yeah, no, why can't he stay on side? Well, it's a bit of bad luck, to be honest, for Lukaku. There was one goal he did score, but it was deemed offside further up the field on another player who received the ball. So just bad luck.
He's crap.
These tournaments are made for players like him, though. If he catches fire.
He is too top heavy, and this centripetal force causes him to jolt forward.
Scientific Nate
Being
enters the
offside.
room. All right.
Sorry, I blacked
He's
out for a
over-
minute.
Yeah.
like,
I blacked out for a minute.
He's overrated. Like way overrated.
Yes. How much should a team, if they wanted, besides the salary? Don't even get me started on the salary. But if
So he
a
should not
team
be
wanted
playing.
him.
10 mil.
Is it
Max.
10 million?
Max.
He should not be playing in this tournament at all. Openina should be starting over him, who's the forward for Leipzig.
I thought you liked Tedesco, the coach of.
No.
No. No. Maybe
He's
I read that
he
wrong.
also got Schulk relegated.
Oh, he did. He
So,
did, yes.
Yeah, so
Well, you're
he's
a
a
Tedesco
dumbass.
fan.
He's a dumbass.
All right,
and
all
he,
right, all right.
Openda should be starting over him every single day.
It's bad. It's bad when you're an international forward and your Premier League club, who are actually a decent outfit, don't want you.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a good point.
It's bad when the guy at home can pick a better lineup while drinking beers and eating hot dogs than Tedesco.
I can do that all day long as well. Next question.
Oh,
Last
okay.
question. Last
Mine was saying mine was thinking with Lukaku, he's just too anxious.
Too anxious?
Yeah.
Eh,
Bro,
There you go.
read the
Alright.
question, mate.
Last question. Pick one.
Hey, come on. All right, here we go. This is the great debate that was in this,
this-
group here, which
Hold
Victor
on.
asked.
Would this be a master debate?
You are.
Don't start this.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. All right. Last question.
Victor asked this question. Of the four WAS hosts, what 2v2 team could win in a quick match?
Me and Craig versus you two.
Why would you take Craig over me? Craig's soft and he doesn't know how to defend.
He doesn't like to be touched.
Talent.
Craig's soft and he doesn't like to be
Speed.
defend. Speed?
I mean,
Speed.
if
You
it's,
think you're faster than me?
I'll fucking burn you.
if it's me and you,
With a ball or without a ball?
if
Doesn't
it's,
matter. Let's go.
if it's me and you against them two,
We would
As
destroy
long
him.
as you can stop him,
I'll
'cause I'll take him to the cleaners.
I'll stop him. He won't be walking after we're done. It won't be clean.
I'll take you out by
Someone
your
tag
ankles.
Bill and all right, we're out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Big thank you to our partners and our sponsors. Big thank you to Soccer World. Big thank you to Aaron and Next Level Training. Big thank you to the Michigan Jaguars. Big thank you to Thomas McGee's. Get to Thomas McGee's for all the Copa games and the Euro games. Big thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. We appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, do us a huge favor. Give us a like, give us a subscription, give us a share. We appreciate the love. And until next week, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.